Hello, everybody. Hello, chat.
How dare you speak?
Hi, chat. What's popping?
GamesBeat Decides is
Oh,
live.
No, I hear my own voice. Disgusting.
Oh, through the thing. I have it set to ultra low latency. How
Oh shit!
how soon are you hearing me after I
It's
talk?
I'm not
Pretty
listening.
soon.
Pretty soon. Cool. Good metric.
Sorry,
Oh, there it goes.
I had a sneeze.
I'm not saying bless you, your tight. Screw you.
Wow.
Take that.
No, you gotta say you are so beautiful, like in Seinfeld.
Yeah, like in Seinfeld.
Why we have some super chats from yesterday randomly? That's fun.
Okay, cool.
Is it Xbox killer? Is
Hope
it
so.
Morbin time?
It's not
Never good.
Is it Morbin time? I hope that this all ends with Jared Leto or whatever his name is getting real upset that that movie turned into a meme. Like not go. He's not. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want him to be cool and go with it, right? I
No,
want him to be, like,
listen.
furious.
He would not be cool and go with it, Mike, but that dream is not I don't think he knows about the internet. I don't think he's
He's a
You don't
weirdo.
think
He's
he
too
knows?
busy.
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
He's too busy on his weird like cult island.
Yeah, he goes to his cult island with 17-year-old girls, and
Very cool.
yeah, so that's like his thing.
That's
Yeah. So yeah, he's into that weird shit. So
He didn't know about COVID until like weeks after it started
he's
because he was on his island.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was in my island hanging out.
Oh wow, what a relatable guy.
Yeah,
I hope
fuck
that
that
he
guy.
gets into some kind of a courtroom thing that the world becomes obsessed with. For no
yes,
reason.
and then it's like if you're just like this is weird and annoying, everyone's like, "Why are you siding with her?" Okay,
No, don't you
all right.
understand that she's a psycho?
Yeah, but okay.
Why you doing
Yeah,
that?
I understand someone's weird here for sure.
Man,
Yeah,
this I hate the people that's like this. This shows that men also get abused all the time.
Okay,
No, it
okay.
doesn't.
I tell you what, my
dumbass.
ability to relate with those two is impossible. My ability to relate with the psychopaths who are like really caring about this trial and made it a thing, I have
Yes.
that ability, and I'm judging you harshly.
very harshly. Yes.
Extremely.
It's especially weird. Okay, I
Do you
think we
know-
can bring up the video now. Let me take a look at you.
Do you know
Where
that
are
the
you at?
existence of Morbius implies the existence of Morbius? Huh?
I don't think that works.
Ultimate Bios.
Lesbius, I think you mean.
Morbius.
Lesbius.
And there's lesbians too.
Fewer
Shout out
bias.
to all the lesbians.
Yeah. Sorry, casual. Casual, the first person for me to delete a message because he used our second fan word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, he's not using his name that I like more.
Yeah, I wonder if it's hard to change on YouTube, but I think he's still using that name in the Discord, so
There you go. Good.
okay. Let's what do we need to do? I have
You
the questions. I tweeted already.
You
I
tweeted already? Damn. It's the 250. He has to tweet like he's special.
yeah, we're
you
not
know?
doing anything. We're not doing anything special.
No.
It's just gonna be an episode.
It's a special episode.
Jeff is way too busy for us to do something special. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't really want to either. Yeah,
Wow.
but I mean, if people want to treat it like it's special.
It's people. It's just like you can't say that on chat.
Yeah, we're celebrating our 250 by not saying the word.
The C word.
Don't say the word today,
The other
everybody.
C word.
Yeah, the other our C word.
Yes.
Okay.
This is distracting them from the B
Not
word.
the boy
finally.
C word.
Yes.
This time it was my fault too. I
Yes.
take full
No,
ownership.
what the fuck was that, Mike?
Well,
I saw
it's
it
kind of also
afterwards.
Christian's fault, but mostly
What?
not.
I wasn't even. I was like, I'm at work.
You started
and-
this.
What?
I just middled
I
it.
was minding my own business.
I just middled
Hey,
it. Hide.
no,
word.
don't. Not that one. Stop it. Not even like with that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a
We're not gonna talk about the cinematic universe of Cars.
Can of best, but yeah, let's not get too comfortable with that one either.
All right, I'm gonna do my
There's a lot of bad C words.
All right, I'm gonna finish my training in Mario Strikers Battle League first kick. And
What?
What do you mean? I'm gonna finish playing Mario Strikers.
Wait a minute.
I can tell Mike's upset. He's like looking
Mike
at me
is so angry. I've never seen he's sitting.
he's like,
with-
did Did you get out of Nintendo jail?
Ex-
Guys,
Wait,
just,
what?
just let him believe it.
Explain yourself.
Explain yourself. He's
It's-
watching
okay.
the video on his Twitch.
No,
like,
I'm
his
not.
YouTube-
Okay. Oh, okay.
What
No,
is
now
it?
I have to prove it. Now I have to prove it.
Well, how'd you get it?
How
All
do
right.
you-
So I'm gonna hit
how?
resume now,
Look
and then I'm going through the
Look at-
training. And then look,
he-
I'm controlling Peach right down here. See?
He's so
Run around.
happy. You know what's the fucked up part is that he's not happy because he has the game. He's happy because he has it before you.
That's right.
He's
What I'm unhappy about is he never even said anything to me about it.
what?
So you got into the preview thing, didn't go through me, went rogue on your own,
Okay.
and just
let's
playing Mario Strikers.
break the
I'm just
illusion.
gonna
But Mike,
leave
if you go
before
to your
something happens
Switch
here. I don't want to be
eShop,
part of this.
you could search the word Strikers, and you can download the demo now. And that's what I was playing. I'm just playing the demo.
I didn't know it was a demo.
Yep, there's a demo. It's in the
Okay, I
news.
was
We can talk about it.
confused.
Let's get started. Christian,
Exciting.
goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for your help.
I need to open up the rundown. Did you you tweeted?
tweeted.
Okay, man, I was furious for a moment there.
I could tell.
I was
could all
about to
tell.
murder you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to punch you like in that video.
You're about to full morb. I understand.
It's about to go full more. It's Morbin time. We had to let Jared Leto know. We had to invade his island.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, we
strap it to a
spread
chair.
leaflets on his island. Yeah.
and yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. sounds
You
good.
are a meme, and it's not haha with you. It's haha
Yeah,
at you.
we're laughing at you.
Okay, Mike. I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready to start. How are you feeling? You ready to do this?
I feel good. I feel better with more thumbs ups from all the people watching right now. Thank you for watching.
Guys, help out Mike. Jeez. It's like
Come
you want to
on.
hurt Mike Minotti.
Come on, guys. What are we even doing here?
Okay. Then what do? I hit this button right here. Okay. I'm going to count down. I'm going to hit record, and we're going to get into it. In 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast. It's the podcast where we decide everything happening in the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is...
Mike Minotti.
It's Mikey time. On the episode this week, we got news, we have games. It's our 250th episode, Mike.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a lot of episodes, actually. That's pretty good stuff.
It is. Yeah, we've been popular for about 50 of them.
Yeah, about 50 of those. Yeah. And even some of those people don't really like, but we got a few good ones in there. I'm pretty proud of. So what are we going to do about it? I didn't plan anything.
Well, thankfully, Sony stepped up and announced the state of play. So yeah, we'll celebrate by talking about that state of play and talk about what we're gonna see there. How's that?
And
That's
then
what
we'll
people want
celebrate by
anyways.
playing. We're going to celebrate 250 and Sony by playing the entire theatrical cut of Morbius. Stick
There you
around,
go.
everybody.
We won't get banned until after it's done, because
Yes.
even like YouTube, like, all right.
Yeah, we get
Have
it.
your
We get
fun.
it. Keep it going. This is good
Yeah.
stuff. All right. You can get more from me and Mike at GamesBeat.com. If you want to ask us this question, you can do so by dropping a super chat into the chat right here live on YouTube, or you could communicate with us for free by emailing us at gamespluspodcast@venturebeat.com. Thank you to Carlos Ain, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme song. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever pods are caught. And if you like us there, or give us a rating or whatever, especially I guess on Spotify right now, those 5-star ratings are very helpful. Please do that. Join the Discord. The link is discord.gg/gamemess, or you can go to gamemess.net. That's probably even easier. Thank you to the mods, who are very helpful in keeping our community very awesome. That Discord is a great place to hang out because of them. And then you can support this show and get into the secret channels inside of the Discord by going to patreon.com/gamemess or hitting the join button here on YouTube. That's also very useful. You can do that as well. We've had a bunch of people join in the last couple of weeks here on YouTube since we introduced that. And the Patreon continues to grow as well. And everyone who shows up for that stuff, I'm super appreciative of.
Oh, they all want to get involved with the Game Mess Game Club, Jeff.
They do. Mike, what is the Game Mess Game Club?
We are going to be playing a game together every month, people who are in those special Discord channels. And we are voting right now. It's been pretty intense between Bug Fables, which if you don't know is an indie game. It's on Game Pass. I think the Game Pass aspect is helping that one a lot.
Yeah.
It's basically like a Paper Mario style game. Like people complain that Paper Mario isn't Paper Mario anymore. Well, this is more Paper Mario than Paper Mario has been. And then the other one is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And it was pretty neck and neck between the two. I think Bug Fables is actually... Oh, never mind. It took a little bit of a lead, but now it's pretty close again. Just a separation of one there. This poll's running until basically at some point in the first, we're going to stop it because we're going to start playing the game then. So, if you are in those channels, make sure you actually go to the Cool Kids roles and get your role for the game club, and then you can vote. So,
oh, well, I already started playing Metal Gear, so all right then. I guess I'll maybe just hold off until the vote. Because I thought the vote seemed clearly it was going to go in the way of Revengeance. So I'm like, I'll get a head start on that.
You know that we had to do a new poll thing inside of the Discord for some, I don't know why, but the mods figured that out.
Oh, so I was still looking at the straw poll.
I was confused because you were talking about how I guess I'll just install Rising. I was like, it's pretty close, but okay.
Okay, yeah, I was still looking at the straw poll. Okay, so look more closely than I have, everybody. And,
well,
yeah.
always a good, always a good rule. Yes, absolutely.
You said the audio's clipping out, Jeff. Is it like? Does it sound bad on the high end? Is that what you mean, or is it like going in and out? Okay, well we'll take a look at that.
Everyone else says it's fine.
Everyone else is saying it's fine. Okay. Yes. Let's see here, Mike. I have some news, and I think we should probably get into it because there's a good amount here.
There is. Things have been popping.
Let's see here. Let's start with this one. NBC Universal wanted to merge with Electronic Arts. That deal fell through. EA apparently also had conversations with Disney, Apple and Amazon, I think were the big names thrown around. Doesn't sound like any of those are necessarily going to happen, but these are definitely the kinds of conversations that have ramped up since the Activision merger or acquisition by Microsoft. Any other thoughts here? We've talked about this a little bit on other shows and stuff like that, but any other thoughts on here's the thing, Mike. They were going to have NBC Universal merge into EA, and then Andrew Wilson was going to be the boss.
Yeah.
Does that seem strange to you? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
That seems very strange. What would Andrew Wilson know about running a giant multimedia conglomerate like that? That seems very strange to me. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, these people are always talking, and it sounds like this one came closer than most. So that's pretty interesting. That aspect of it is weird though. Like Andrew Wilson is only going to be in charge of a company that has theme parks and movies and all that stuff. Strange.
Yeah, it feels like and this is like the worst EA timing to own theme parks. It's like in the 90s and maybe even the 2000s, maybe they would have had brands that could have made sense. Like these characters showing up at theme parks could be fun, and it's like those characters have been dormant and dead for a decade now is what it feels like.
That's EA's big problem, is that they have studios. They don't have IP necessarily. They have some, but even what was their one of their biggest ones, Battlefield, just took a heck of a beating. Right, and it's their biggest ones are the ones that are also sort of in a weird spot. Like Need for Speed, a surprisingly popular IP. I keep finding out every time I bring it up. And then BioShock is not BioShock. I'm sorry, God, Mass Effect. Yes, you're right. Not this is even then. This is a lot of stuff is we like these universes, even with something like Mass Effect. There's a lot of characters in there, but as you move on from that series, you are necessarily going to have to move on from some of those characters. But Mass Effect and Dragon Age, those have huge fan bases as well. Right. But it's basically the BioWare stuff helping them.
Exactly. But it's okay. I just don't. It just didn't seem like a natural fit. And you know what? It's not happening. So maybe other people are like, "This is weird. Does this really make sense for us?" But the overall thing here is that EA is looking at the landscape, saying people are willing to put down more money than ever before in a world where we once thought we would never would have been able to be acquired. Maybe we should look into the possibility of that and try to position ourselves best for that. I don't know if we hear anything more about this anytime soon, but I definitely I think we'll hear more about the rumblings of deals maybe surrounding EA. Whether or not a deal ever goes through, though, I don't know.
Right.
Mike, I have devastating news.
Yes, I know.
Callisto Protocol is no longer part of the PUBG universe.
So they canceled the game then, right? Like, why?
They are right. Exactly. In my heart, they did. They basically have canceled this game, as far as I'm concerned. I was so excited about this game because it's like it's gonna be a horror sci-fi game. It's basically gonna be a Dead Space spiritual successor. All that stuff is whatever. I need to see how it relates to PUBG, the game where 100 weirdos jump out of a plane and hit each other with frying pans.
Very much modern.
Yes.
Nothing sci-fi or spacey about it.
And it's like, the second they announced it was part of the PUBG universe, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this. And to me, it just feels like them being like, it's safer if it's not part of the PUBG. Who cares? It's video games. It's better when it's weirder, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, and it's like Kaiser says about PUBG died in 2018. I mean, listen, it made more money since going free to play than it ever made before. But I understand what you mean in terms of the zeitgeist. Like, yes, it's not part of the zeitgeist anymore. What does that matter? I mean, I don't care about that. I care about Callisto Protocol being weird, and now it's less weird. And to me, that is a net negative. We have lost something that as gamers we should hold dear, which is the oddities that we can do in video gaming that you can't really get away with in other mediums. All right then, Mike, for real and for serious, I have an E3 check-in. A couple of things. We could do some updates here about what's happening with E3. Let's actually skip down this. Sony announced that they're doing a state of play on June 2nd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. What's your hype level?
Pretty high, because I am really expecting Final Fantasy 16 here. Right? Like that's not crazy. Final Fantasy 16 is probably showing up. It's a PlayStation exclusive. We know that they promised there'd be an update on it like by the end of spring, which we are at. And this certainly seems like the place for that to happen. And they specifically say it's going to focus on third-party publishers and some PlayStation VR 2 stuff. So it's gotta be Final Fantasy 16 here.
I if it's not here, then I think it does show up pretty quickly afterward at like something like a state or the Summer Game Fest. But why wouldn't the Final Fantasy 16 PlayStation 5 exclusive game show up at the PlayStation event, especially one where they said it's like going to be focused on third-party partners and stuff like that. So to me, you say that because it's like, okay, yeah, we're holding off on our stuff still. We'll probably have a God of War dedicated state of play at some point, and probably sometime soon. But here we're going to have, let's go all out with our big, third-party stuff. I think another one that's likely is Street Fighter 6, but we'll see. But then, Final Fantasy 16. If Final Fantasy 16 isn't there, I'm going to be like, oh, this is going to be another disappointing state of play.
That is the problem, is that we always kind of over-predict for these state of plays. And I want to try to rein that in a bit. But even still, Final Fantasy 16 seems so likely. There's some people who are immediately like, oh, Silent Hill. And maybe we shouldn't expect Silent Hill. I don't know, maybe it's going to be there, but I don't know.
It's Stray. Thank you, Pablo Costa. Stray will probably also get its release date, which is rumored to be June 13th, I think. So the cat game, right? So it'll probably get its release date there, and they'll say, oh, and it's coming out in 2 weeks from the event. Yeah. They're also going to have VR games, and they said as part of the PSVR 2 launch, they're planning to have 20 games. So I bet we see quite a few of those at this event.
Do we see the next Astro Bot game?
I really hope so. Because that begs the question. It's like, are we when they say third party, that doesn't apply to the VR stuff, right? Obviously, because they're going to show first party VR stuff. They'll need to if they're trying to sell us VR. So then, I really hope that we get a new Astro game from Team Asobi. Is that right? Asobi, yes.
Yeah. What about? So there's a couple other things from Capcom we keep expecting to drop. You think Dragon's Dogma 2? It's a possibility they have that anniversary site that has basically nothing on it right now. And then they tweeted as we get ready for the future of Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, I'm right on the fence about that stuff. The thing I've heard is that for this summer game fest, the summer game mess, space, Capcom pretty much only intends to talk about Street Fighter 6. But that could be wrong, or that might be like only for like maybe one of these early events, and then as we get later in the month, maybe there's other stuff that has to do with Dragon's Dogma, so it won't actually be that long of a wait. I don't know. I think.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be there.
Whoa.
I know Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be there. Do you want to know my source?
Yeah. What's your source, Mike?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Man, well, that actually probably should win for our game club. So, all right. Oh man, that is a very good quote drop there, Mike. I appreciate that. I am expecting big things, but also I'm expecting us to be like, oh, it still was a state of play, but you don't do a state of play in this like a traditional E3 time frame and completely beef it, right? Like they're gonna do a decent job,
right? And it's hard because everybody has their one thing. Like for me, if Final Fantasy 16 is there, then I am already happy, and then everything else is just gravy, anyways. But there are going to be people who are going to be Silent Hill or bust. There are some people who are going to be Resident Evil 4 remake or bust. You know, and everything else is more up in the air. It seems like the two most likely are Final Fantasy 16 and Street Fighter 6.
Yep, that sounds right. Do you think that they finish with like a surprise? Here's like God of War's release date, or no God of War?
I bet not. I bet we don't get God of War. I think you're right. I think we just get a God of War specific one, not too much longer than now. But this will be their kind of thing for the E3 period.
Yeah, I think that's right. Other things to check in from E3, the Microsoft Store leaked Destroy All Humans Clone Carnage, which is a standalone multiplayer game. That's probably going to pop up in one of these events. And then we spoke about it a little bit, that Capcom launched the Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary website. So it's like, that definitely seems like it could end up in one of these things, but also maybe they're going to wait a little bit and before they actually do anything with that stuff. Okay. God of War Ragnarok, speaking of which, the chances of it releasing this year seem to be increasing, specifically because it got rated in South Korea. And usually when that happens, the games come out, just a few months later at the latest. So South Korea tends to be the first one of these territories that has like a game rating agency that it always like leaks out, and we get confirmation that something is coming. That happened with like the Castlevania Advance Collection. I remember that was like the last big one for those that I remember. Right. And then a few months later, we were playing that. So, Mike, does this give you more hope that we're playing it this year, or like reassure you? Because I think you were pretty confident we were going to get it this year, right?
Yeah, I'm always hesitant just because I was a big hardliner on Horizon 2 definitely releasing last year, and then it didn't, and I felt stupid, Jeff. So I want to be too cautious. But if you ask me, I had to pick a side, I think I'm expecting it to release this year. My question for you, Jeff, is why did you tweet that you hope Kratos has 2 penises in this game?
Well, I mean, listen, that fake account made it sound like you're going to see stuff you've never seen before. Yeah, the fake Cory Barlog account. And I've never seen a Kratos with 2 penises before. So I just thought,
I mean, as far as you know, he doesn't have a penis. He has sex in the games, but we don't see his dick.
That's true. That's fair. I mean, I've seen a lot of art on the internet, and he always only has 1 penis. So I'm like, hey, let's see if we can amp up the stakes a little bit.
I see.
And get 2 on there.
It's a sequel. You got to go bigger and more. So
yes, bigger and more. That's right. So I'm really pulling for that 2 penises. You know me.
Yeah, you're always pulling 2 penises.
2 penises. Yep.
Let's move on before I accidentally say something weird again.
All right. So you remember I think we talked about this on Nintendogs, where like Sony was doing this weird thing where people who got a PS Plus for like several years or whatever on a discount, they were charged.
Yes.
They were charged. They're like, okay, hey, it's discounted, but we changed it, and now you got to pay us back the discount. They say that was a technical error. Whatever it was, they're not going to do that. They are fixing this. This is not going to be a problem going forward. So that is very nice to hear. Whether or not that was like them being like trying to pull something, which again, I'm like skeptical that was ever that, because that's just not something you would do. You don't take away people's discounts.
Right. I mean, you want to nickel dime people as much as you can, but to a certain point where you can safely get away with it, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it's like, this is just going to make people mad. It's not worth the nickels and dimes at that point. People remember it when you make them feel bad about like pulling the rug out from underneath them. That's like one thing retailers have learned. It's like, if people think they found a deal, you have to just let them have it. So, yeah. What were you going to say?
My big issue now is that so they came out and like reacted to this, but they have not reacted to the whole 50 megahertz PlayStation 1 games thing. So
Yes. So that is the next thing here, more like PAL Station. Yeah, they are putting PAL games on the PS Plus service. We were, people were getting pretty high hopes for, this being a fun way to go back and play classic PS1, PS2 games. There are a lot of fantastic PS1, PS2 games. And the early reports, and again, this stuff could change, but the early reports out of territories where this is available is even in regions that had NTSC, they are getting PAL games. But even in PAL regions, no one uses PAL and NTSC anymore. It's all digital signals. So you should just get the best version of the game. And they are getting what is basically the worst version of these games, just like it was on the PlayStation Classic. Mike, it's really, really difficult to think of an excuse for this.
It has to just be incompetence. I don't think what else could it possibly be? Somehow somebody doesn't know, and also like when somebody there is like it tries to explain it to them, they just don't care or understand. I can't possibly imagine. There's been some attempts to explain this, like, oh, the PAL versions have more support for different languages, and like, that's something, but certainly isn't enough to just give people the game that is a 6 slower than it should be, right?
Yes, it's like, and if that's the case, right? If that's you would just do what a company that is frequently more incompetent than Sony, Nintendo. What does Nintendo do? Well, in regions that had PAL, they give you both PAL and the NTSC version, and you could like choose different like languages. Like they like release Japanese language classic games on Nintendo Switch Online in North America and stuff. It's just like, oh, we're gonna add some other stuff. There's a handful that are like that. So it's like you just put both. This is not that, because this is just them either not knowing the difference or not caring. I hope it's ignorance and incompetence as opposed to just being like, whatever, they're just old games. Like, what's the difference? 6 slower, what does that matter? They're old and ugly anyhow. Like, that would be worse.
It does make it seem clear, like, there probably isn't a team dedicated to this job, right?
Right.
There are some people who have been kind of scrounged around to work on this for a bit. They need a team working on this stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that there are that is kind of starting to happen, but it seems like they are looking at like that PS3 emulation, and maybe they're not even like worried, like, oh, this stuff is the easy stuff. We're going to start working on that harder thing. It's like, well, take care of this stuff first. And
again, you don't want to be lagging behind Nintendo when it comes to stuff.
Yeah, I hope they fix this. My expectation is this does get fixed, but it's like you kind of have to get loud at first because they should know better. They should know better.
They should know better. You shouldn't have to be yelled down from it, but I'll yell.
Let's see here. Jim Ryan did have a lot to say this week. There was a lot of PlayStation news, thanks in part to Jim Ryan doing a conference call with like investors and kind of doing a business update. He got into the back of what looked like a hearse and live streamed, Mike, which I don't know if you've seen that image. It's just like he's surrounded by drapes on all sides. It's incredible. Wow. Let's see. He noted that PlayStation has 2 more unannounced live service games coming this fiscal year. And he said so far they have 1 live service game. I was surprised to hear this. That's just MLB The Show. I'm like, I thought Gran Turismo would be a live service game. But apparently that's not how he views it. He says a live service game is a game that just goes on forever. Now, of course, MLB The Show is going to get updated each year. But I think a lot of your stuff goes on and carries over. That's how that works. Like the card pack games and stuff.
Yeah, interesting definition of quote-unquote live service here, huh?
Yeah, I mean, MLB The Show definitely has those, like, the equivalent of Ultimate Team, right? I can't remember what they call it. Diamond Dogs or something?
Yeah,
That's not
Diamond
right.
Dogs. That's from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yes.
That's close. But yeah, why doesn't Gran Turismo 7 count? I guess because there's, like, an end date in mind that they have, at least in terms of making new content for it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's but 2 more live service games. I think at one point I probably would have assumed one of those would have been that Twisted Metal game, but that got rebooted and moved to a different developer, so it's probably not coming anytime soon. So I don't know exactly what these. I bet one of them is that like more ambitious version of Factions. I bet that does launch before the end of this fiscal year. Yes, the Last of Us thing. Naughty Dog's big new multiplayer thing, which. This is like an open secret. It's going to be bigger and more ambitious than they ever intended. It's probably not going to be called Factions. It's basically that version of it was canceled so they could do this bigger thing. And I don't think this is an open secret. People know this. Like it is going to be very much focused on this live service stuff where Naughty Dog can always be adding more stuff to it and swapping things in and out on an instant, so it's very easy to keep support going for that game. Like, that is their goal with that. So yeah, and it also sounds like that's going to be ready here pretty soon.
Jeff, I gotta read this super chat.
Let's do it. Oh yes.
From PlayStation Slave 3.0 says, rest in peace, Xbox. Jeff Scrub, scared of the state of play, crying, laughing emoji.
Oh, man, I wish he would give more than $2 though when he does this.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I'm petrified. I'm so really scared.
Is he admitting he's are you okay? Are they enslaving you at PlayStation?
Yeah,
Jeff,
slave's a bad thing, homie.
Jeff, how scared are you of the state of play? You're going to look so stupid
I'm
when Sony, a company that you like as much as the other ones.
In my own piss. That's how scared I am. I'm petrified. It's everywhere.
Xbox Killer, I need some clarification of what you think Jeff is scared of. Please.
Let's see. Jim Ryan went on to say he's not at all finished with his acquisition spree. That's going to keep happening. So that's, again, not much of a surprise. But he made it very clear. He's like, yeah, we are looking for all these avenues of growth for what we currently have. But we also intend to grow inorganically by acquiring studios. And that makes sense. They have big plans for growth. In fact, they expect 55% of their business model should be live service games by the end of fiscal year 25. And they're not going to get to that with just like what they have now. They would need to keep acquiring stuff and building out the capabilities, because this is not a zero-sum thing. They're not like, oh, we're going to do less of what we did before so that we could do more live service games. Like, we're going to keep doing this, but our new live service stuff's going to be so big that it's going to become like almost equivalent to what we're doing with God of War and Horizon and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because this whole strategy depends on at least one of these becoming a hit.
Yes.
And what if none of them do? Right? They could backpedal from this real quickly.
Yeah, I think you're right, but also it's the kind of thing where one of the reasons you do this is you understand that many of them could come out and fizzle out. But if one of them does hit, they have the potential to make so much more money than everything else combined. So
I guess some of them will hit at least okay. Like maybe the factions or whatever it's going to be. Maybe it's not going to be a giant deal, but it's probably at least going to make money back. I would hope.
Yes, I agree.
Jeff,
go ahead.
PlayStation Slave 3.0 said Xbox has no games. Where are the games, Jeff? Jeff, as the CEO of Xbox,
yes, of course.
You do need to answer this question. You are personally responsible.
I listen. I've been looking for him. I think Ken Lobb put him in a hole somewhere. I'm gonna go get the shovel in the backyard, and I'm gonna go look for the games to see if I can't find them. We'll see what we can do.
Come on, it's just embarrassing, man.
Oh man. And then he said half of Sony's releases will be on PC and mobile by 2025. That's you know what? Actually, there was like some cool details here about like how well games from PlayStation are doing on PC. Again, no surprise. Horizon Life to Date has sold 2.3 or almost 2.4 million copies on PC, and it's made $60 million. Days Gone has made $22.7 million, and God of War has made $26.2 million, and that's at just since January 14th. So pretty strong sales across the board for all these games on PC. They made $35 million from their PC releases in fiscal year 20, $80 million in fiscal year 21, and they expect to make $300 million in fiscal year 2022, which is ongoing. And so far, they've only had God of War at $26 million, which is probably going to end up somewhere closer to like 50 million, 60 million when it's all said and done with that game. But that's not going to make up $300 million. So they must have a lot of PC games in the works and on its way. Do you have more to say from our friend, Mike?
I'm going to stop reading them live now because they're coming in too hot and fast. Don't worry, I will read them later.
Okay, all right.
Assuming this is the last one. PlayStation Slate 3.0 says, Jeff, hyping Xbox 2022 last year, you're downplaying with the thinking emoji.
I was downplaying it since the last E3. I don't know. This is the thing.
I thought you always said they were going to have a slow 2022.
Yes, I'm like at most they were going to have Forza, Starfield, and Redfall, and then when they delayed Starfield and Redfall, it's like, well, yeah, then they don't have anything. Like that's what we were saying since last year. I was like, with people, I remember when people were getting like kind of big in their britches on the Xbox side of things, being like, we have Halo and Forza Horizon, and Sony hasn't released a game in 3 months. Things have really changed. I'm like, you guys are gonna look real stupid next year. Like, this is, you should not be acting this way. This is embarrassing. And and that's exactly what happened. Where now they're like, oh, we haven't had a game in what, 6 months or whatever, 5-6 months. It's like, yeah, I tried to tell you, but people don't listen, as evidenced by our good friend PlayStation Slave 3.0.
PlayStation Slave 3.0, just really swinging with that name.
Yeah. All right. One last one out of the PlayStation camp here. Amazon is getting the God of War TV show. Netflix is getting the Horizon Zero Dawn TV show. And Sony is shopping around a Gran Turismo movie. And they're hoping to get District 9 director Neil Blomkamp to direct that. Mike, I don't know.
I was almost like, when they said Gran Turismo show, I was like, are they going to do something like Top Gear?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Going to be a narrative show.
Right. I guess I don't, honestly though, none of them are like, I wasn't excited for the Halo show. I'm not
going to watch any of these.
My kids are super duper into the Cuphead show right now. And I sort of watch over their shoulders like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm glad my kids like this. Like, I'm fine. I'm not watching any of these TV shows. I just don't, it's just never worked for me across the board. I guess, I suppose if they hear they're like really great, but it's like, I bet it's going to be, they're really great for video game adaptations is how it's always going to be at the best.
Right. I mean, the whole, like, I never wanted to watch that Halo show, and I was just subjected to opinions about it because of Twitter. And that was even just that was a miserable experience.
It sucked. It honestly
the
sucked.
Up and downs. People
Yeah.
would be like, it's actually really good. And then like, no, now he had sex. I don't like it. And then,
I'm like, okay.
And the worst was like
Get over
somebody
it.
posted this clip like, well, the show's been bad sometimes, but at least this scene was awesome, right? And it was a cartoon, Jeff. It was a cartoon of Master Chief fighting people. And it sometimes shifted into first person mode, like in the games. And it was just the dumbest looking thing I had ever seen.
And it's like, I felt, from the very beginning, I'm like, that's about as good as it could possibly get. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened. I think that people have high hopes for the Last of Us TV show because it's on HBO and it's from the guy. But again, I'm not personally excited for it, but HBO shows, I get it.
Makes more sense to adapt to a show than most things, I guess. I'm still not gonna watch it, but good for you.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, I'm like, I'm just kind of here for the games, and if they turn them into TV shows, it's just not for me, and that's fine if it's for you. Phil Spencer said he supports employees who form unions, and his plan is to formally recognize the Raven QA union group that just voted to unionize over at Raven Software, which is one of the teams that works on Call of Duty. There was a lot of hubbub around this, where it's like Activision was trying to derail this as best they could, but the vote finally did happen, and I think it was like 19 people were voted, and they got a majority, and they have now unionized. And so once they move to Microsoft, regardless of what happens with Activision, Phil Spencer says his intent is to recognize this. This echoes kind of what like I wrote about in that story from Reggie earlier this week, right? Or maybe late last week, where it's like he's saying the reality is unions are what they are. As a leader, if your employees want to unionize, you need to just deal with it and work with them on that and and incorporate that as part of the reality of doing business. And it sounds like that's exactly what Phil Spencer's plan here is. New Nintendo Switch Online games, Mike. Pinball for the NES, Congo's Caper for the Super Nintendo, and Rival Turf for Super Nintendo. How excited are you?
Gosh, I mean, there's some people like NES Pinball is actually good. It's like, okay, I'm sure it's fine. Man, there sure are a lot of caveman games on the SNES. And we really need more than just Joe and Mac. I don't know. And then Rival Turf is the most we have Final Fight at Home energy.
Yes,
you can imagine,
there's so many games like that on the Super Nintendo where it's like kind of bad spin or bad taste.
What's that?
On
it's Helico or Jellico or whatever, and they are like that. Their whole thing is basically we have Capcom at home.
Yes,
like that, right?
Yep.
And they're fine.
Incredible.
There's nothing wrong with them a lot of the time, but it's like okay, great Rival Turf. It's like I don't mean to be down on these like B tier games. B tier games can be a lot of fun, but there still just are some omissions that I would really like to see addressed before we start really getting to this, not the bottom of the barrel, Jeff, but this middle part of the barrel. And maybe we are being too hard because there are most of the best stuff is on there.
Yes,
but there are still things. I think Star Tropics 2 is on there. Of course, Mario RPG is one, and there's other third-party things that are interesting that aren't on there, like Top Gear. We did whole episodes of GamesBeat Last Nintendogs asking for which games for NES and SNES that aren't on there do you want on there. Nobody was saying any of these.
Right, exactly. And it's I guess that's why I'm a little bit a little bit frustrated that it's like we keep getting months like this. But you're right. There are a lot of games on there that I didn't even know were on there that I haven't played. So I'm not going to be too harsh on this. It's just like when this being the headline, it's very easy to be disappointed, and that's where I'm at with it.
It's easy to be snarky about it. The real problem is still the very slow drip release of Nintendo 64 games. That's my real issue at this point. But it doesn't help. It's nothing to get excited about.
Right, exactly. I'll be back there playing games just as I normally have. Just like the same with except for if they're PAL versions, I really will at that point, like on the PlayStation thing. If they're PAL versions, I'll just go play it on my Steam Deck. But if they get the NTSC versions, I'll be right there, kind of no matter what they put out.
It's annoying too, and that's gonna be like we have to go online and find lists to find out which ones are the PAL versions. And
right,
which ones aren't.
Exactly.
It's not even a policy. It's haphazard.
Yes, it's just a poor user experience. Yes. Mike, I got big news for you. Mario Strikers Battle League gets a demo on Nintendo Switch Online.
I didn't know that.
That's
exciting.
So anyone could go download it.
Yet?
Yeah, so here's how it works. You can download it now. To actually really play it, you need to go on June 3rd when they're actually going to open on the online servers.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can't play it offline with CPU. You can't play it couch co-op, nothing like that. All you can do in the meantime is the training. So you can train how to do it, and that enables you to see how it feels and stuff at least. But it's not the real game. So we're gonna have to wait till June 3rd to actually play it. But I'll be on the road, unfortunately, so I'm not gonna have a real chance to actually try this out. So that's a bummer.
Are you gonna be on the road during the State of Play?
I will be in a hotel room during the State of Play and not on the road that day. So I should be able to help out with that. Let's see here. Delays. Replaced, which I think is that like a cool looking cyberpunk game. I think this is right. It got delayed to 2023. The big thing here is like this game is being made by teams in Ukraine and Belarus, and there's a war there, and that has disrupted a lot of the people's lives who work on this game. And they spent a lot of instead of working on the game recently, they've been working on making sure everyone who was working on the game is safe. That has caused them to push out the release of the game. Unsurprising. We've heard this repeated now. Yes, with a lot of these games. The Quarry is not delayed. It is coming June 10th. But The Quarry is one of those those narrative horror games, like the branching paths. And one of the things that they've done recently with those kinds of games, this is from I can't remember the name of the studio who actually does these, but they've done a lot where it's like you can play online multiplayer with other people, and you can take turns deciding who is going to make the decision for you. That online multiplayer is not going to be added to the game until July 8th. So we're going to have to Supermassive. Thank you, Benji Bop. July 8th is when that online multiplayer is going to come. So maybe play it once by yourself and then play it later with your friends again on July 8th. Release dates, Golem, Mike's most anticipated game, is coming September 1st. Temtem, that online multiplayer version, rip off of Pokemon, I mean, what it is coming September 6th, and that's coming to Xbox, PS5, Switch, and PC. Modern Warfare 2 got its release date. That's coming October 28th. As we talked about previously, I think on this podcast, we should see more of that game on June 8th. There's going to be a trailer, and then at June 9th at the Summer Game Fest, we will get even more. They're going to do gameplay, I think, that day. So they basically confirmed that, where they had a J822 thing drawn on the side of a shipping container in the release date reveal for Modern Warfare 2. That's them saying that's the next time they're going to have content. That'll be out soon. And then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R launches September 2nd. Mike, is this your new Smash Brothers right here? Is this going to take out Smash?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is weird because everyone talks about it, and I actually don't understand its vibe. I can't tell if it's a joke that doesn't take itself seriously, or if it's just kind of a bit, or it's just a bit wacky, but mostly serious. I don't know.
Okay, listen, I'm not going to pretend like I know the answer to this, but I know that they're it's like an action anime, but they're all fashion stars. Is that right, chat? And that's
so it's
they do
Zoolander,
fashion poses.
But it's like a Zoolander
you know what?
anime.
It's Zoolander the anime, Mike. I think we nailed it, and I don't think we should look at chat.
I bet all the anime fans won't be upset about that description.
I mean, why could they be when it's so accurate? And now we're moving on. All right, finally, CD Projekt Red. They said Cyberpunk sold best on PlayStation during the Q1 of 2022. I don't think that's too surprising because it wasn't available digitally for a long time on PlayStation, and now it is, and that probably helped. And then they have a new project, The Molasses Flood, that started Q4 2021. That's in the works now. They're also working on the pre-production phase of the new Witcher game. And then they said that, yes, the Witcher 3 Next Gen update and Cyberpunk DLC are still coming in the second half of 2022. All right. Mike, that does it for the news. Should we get to some super chats?
Let's get to those super chats, Jeff.
Please.
Got a few of them. We got a couple that came in yesterday, actually. Ariel Delgado said, in Phineas and Ferb, there was a character called Meep. They look like they'd be considered a Meep. Happy Friday. Hopefully Sonic 06 HD was/is announced. Yeah, you see, like Sonic 06 was famously delisted from the Xbox marketplace because it's awful.
Right.
It was like at the time Sega was like, we need to save our brand. We don't want people playing this actually. And now it's like
we need to hide our shame.
Right. Now it's such a, it's made a turn from like we were upset about that to it's a meme and it's just kind of funny now. So long ago. So you can buy it again, but it doesn't have backwards compatibility. So you can't download it and play it on your Xbox Series X. You'd have to still play it on 360. I kind of hope they do, Jeff. I actually only ever played the demo that came out for this way back when, because that was so awful that, like most people at the time was just like, I'm mad that this is so bad. This disgusts me. And now I'm also just kind of interested in the memes. I'll be honest. So, yeah, hopefully they just do backwards compatibility, or I don't think they're going to HDify it, but backwards compatibility would be something.
That'd be nice.
Because there's no PC version as far as I know either. So it's like, it's not easy to play actually these days. Ricky Thompson says, congrats, Big Berry Men. Look forward every week. Thank you so much, even though you called us Big Berry Men.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Ariel Delgado with another one here asking, who would win, Jeff and Mike with Wiimotes and nunchucks, or a quadrillion ants who are willing to fight fair? Well, I think that their willingness to fight fair is going to be their downfall, because we will not.
We're going to play dirty. I'm going to go for the crotch shots.
Yes, lots of crotch. We're going to bring 1 million magnifying glasses.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And we're as long as we have time to set up and get lots of duct tape to make sure those magnifying glasses or magnifying lenses are good to go, we're going to win that one.
You should ask the chat who give them a poll. Jeff and Mike or ants?
Yes.
Beef and cheddar boys or ants? See who would. Let's see if you can listen to this while you're typing that. Let's test your multitasking. Adam Harris says, just a big thanks to a great start to the weekend. Just wondering who's beef and who's cheddar. Man, we get asked this and I always forget. I think you're
so
beef
I'm the
cheddar.
beef, Mike's the cheddar. You come for me, you stay for Mike. That's very easy. Yes.
That sounds right. Okay,
yes.
Fair enough. We did it. Jeremy G says, a nickel for every time Mike has said something he has regretted and it turned into a Discord meme for the past year. Now, normally we don't say how much, but this is $5.35, so you can do the math, I guess. Sergeant Rake says, congrats on the 250th, gents. I've never missed an episode of GamesBeat Decides or Nintendogs. You both have a genuine gift for the gab. Thanks for all the laughs. Thank you so much, Sergeant. I'll give you a salute.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. 50-50 so far, Mike. 50-50.
50-50. Ooh, people really underestimating our chances against us. And some people are asking for follow-up questions, and you will get none.
Yes,
I will not tell you what kind of ants they are. And
one quadrillion ants versus the beef and cheddar boys.
That's all you get. And they're willing to fight fair.
Willing to fight fair.
And we have some tools of something I forget. But look, just boil it down to the essentials. Us ants.
Yep. Us versus every ant on Earth. Yes.
All of the ants.
But also, to be fair, it's every beef and cheddar boy on Earth. So
that's fair. Well, it's also every Nintendog on Earth.
Yeah, every Nintendog. That's so many fucking ants, bro. Says Benji Bob.
That's
sorry.
So many ants. Yeah, they're small though.
Yeah, they're little. They're tiny little guys. So we're not worried.
Yeah, it's isn't this just the plot of A Bug's Life actually?
Yeah,
that
basically.
The ants are afraid of the grasshoppers because they're bigger and they don't realize that they outnumber them 100 to 1.
Yes, exactly. It's a unionization thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Radu, Pericle to Goddess says, we missed out on Callisto Protocol being the Alec Guinness to PUBG's Ewan McGregor. Happy 250, my dogs. Never be not coming. Oh no, he spelled it right, but whoa, hey, Hey, that's the second banned word now, but thank you for the chat.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
Achievement says, do you call him Sackboy, or do they call him Sackboy because he's brown and fuzzy? I mean, look, I don't know Sackboy, so I can't talk on this.
Forgot the reference you're doing there. It's because he's made out of burlap sacks. Like, right? He's like they sewed him out of burlap sacks, basically.
Yeah. The Axiom says predictions for State of Play. DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake. For Kojima sighting, fans will think he reveals the game, but reveals a Metal Gear Solid film trailer. Resident Evil 8 VR, Eco Remake, Return of Silicon. I think a lot of this is ambitious. I don't think there's not going to be any more DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're just going to wait till they announce the sequel.
Right. There will be it is coming out elsewhere sort of stuff, but not DLC. And not at a PlayStation Showcase.
The fact that they didn't remake Eco right after Shadow of the Colossus kind of just made me think they aren't going to do it.
I agree.
That's when they should have done it. So
yep.
I wish they would. I think that, man, I know we keep saying that's one for, the game club, but I would actually really like to play Eco. I never beat Eco or Ico.
I'll vote against it.
Yeah.
No, I said I'll vote against it. I've tried it. I find it boring. I'd rather play the newer what was the Trico?
You'd rather play the Last Guardian.
I'd rather play the Last Guardian. Yeah.
Interesting. Tasty Switch cartridge. Jeff says, please, Jeff, don't. To be clear, Jeff, I don't care what it's called. I just don't want to hear you go on again. Tasty Switch cartridge says, would you rather change to Gref Jub or Jeb Gruff?
Okay, I'll say that we got a card in the mail from AAA, and I think it was like one of those things where it's like, we're pretending you signed up for AAA, but really you still have to pay us. And the name on the card is Jeff Grug with 2 G's at the end. And me and my wife are very fond of that because we're like, Grug need roadside assistance. It sounds like my caveman name. Like, Grug got flat.
It's like in those 80s and 90s cartoons where they randomly introduce a caveman character.
Yes.
His name's always Grug.
Yes, his name's always Grug. Exactly. So I guess that's my answer. I'd rather be Jeff Grug, AAA member.
There you go. Guy Incognito says, is playing my huge backlog a dream? Impossible? I mean, it's impossible to play all of it, but you can always do little bits here and there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, how much time are you going to really dedicate to this stuff? You're still going to want to try to be a well-rounded human who has relationships with people. So just pick a game and play it. And then we finish that, play the next game. And that's how you should view it.
Jeff, we have the slightest lead over the ants right now, 51% to 49.
That's all I need. That's all I need, baby. You just give me a crack of window and I'm going to break on through.
PlayStation Slave 3.0 says, you said this Xbox show would be good. You're quiet. Now, when did you ever say that they were going to have a good Xbox show this year?
No, I said they needed to have a good Xbox show. I never said it would be good. I think it still could be, but I have no idea.
We don't know what they're going to show this year.
I don't know. I think they need to have a good one, though. If they don't, that's going to be a big problem for them.
I mean, to be clear, if they have a good one, it's going to be because they're talking about a lot of 2023 and beyond.
Yes.
So,
Yes, for sure.
For some people, it won't be good enough anyways.
Right.
I mean, but also,
I bet this is the year they win over PlayStation Slave 3.0.
Yeah.
I bet it's going to be that good.
I'll tell you this, PlayStation Slave, your life is not going to get any better or worse if Microsoft or Sony has a better
his life's only going to get worse.
Winning internet points.
Yes. His life's never going to get better.
I think if he keeps giving us money, it might get a little bit better.
That's a good way.
He might put us in our place, and then he'll feel better about himself.
Yep, seed donations.
Bare-chested Bandit says, hey, Jeff and Mike, I saw that Sony has a PlayStation Plus on PC page now, and the 2 promotional image they use are Uncharted and Bloodborne. Are those announced right now, or is this them teasing those ports? I haven't seen this. I mean, Uncharted is coming, everything except the Nathan Drake collection, if that's what you mean. I don't know about that. And then Bloodborne, I mean, if I haven't heard anything about this. Bloodborne's not there yet. Everybody wants it to be. Have you seen this page he's talking about, Jeff?
I have not seen this page he's talking about. Sorry, no.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I'm afraid to say anything here. But, I mean, if what you're saying is true, you would certainly think that
Mike, you fucked it up. You fucked it up. You said something, and now look, we're 47% versus 53%, and the ants are winning.
Well, so you don't like it now when you are in the poll with me.
Yeah, you're dragging me down with you.
I get dragged down by that anti-Mikey bias.
Listen, everyone, just ignore Mike. Just come on. I am basically like 12 trillion ants myself. I could take out just swipe and swipe. I'll take them all out. Don't worry. I got these ants. Do not let making Mike feel bad and get angry make you vote the wrong way.
Not to make your eyes roll, but have you seen the episode of Rick and Morty with that one guy who's just made of ants?
I don't think I have. I mean, I like that show just fine.
Me too. I'm terrified to say anything about it sometimes. But
I mean, go by association. I get it. Yeah.
I don't watch mainstream TV shows, but when I watch Rick and Morty, it's funny. But yes, the guy who's made out of ants was basically a bitch. So
yeah. We're gonna take. Yes, he's dead. They're dead.
He's dead.
All right, we're losing more ground. I'm gonna shut up too.
Stephen Hart says the Castlevania anime is unironically awesome. It's the best video game adaptation. I watched the first season and enjoyed it. Okay, I found it's weird, hyper violent, slightly strange. Like not bad, but slightly strange. So I wouldn't mind watching it.
Grim dark in terms of its violence. Yeah, I agree.
It's like here's a montage of random civilians getting their eye sockets ripped.
I would rather it be like an adventure show, almost make it a fun adventure, but. Still, I get it. Does seem like a very good show. I've watched the first season as well, and it's I enjoyed it. It's fine.
Right, I guess when I think Castlevania, I think I think of the Halloween store kind of Halloween vibes, and this is Castlevania as no, this would be if actually demons invaded Earth. They would straight up murder a lot of people.
Right, yes,
I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
I
got plenty of that at Sunday school. Am I right?
Tyler James Bay says, I'm writing this message from the band C-Word, Iowa. Is there actually a town in Iowa named that?
Cumming, Iowa? Probably.
Damn it, Jeff, that word's banned. Now you're banned.
It's a proper noun, I feel like we can say it.
Now you have to be muted for 30 seconds. Right. I don't have the power to, so just sit there silently until I tell you can talk.
I was muting myself, Mike, so I wasn't really. I was going along with the bit, and then you just stopped talking, so I didn't know what to do.
Well, because I could still hear you, and I was confused.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry, yeah, I was muting myself everywhere else. Yeah, sorry.
I stopped talking because I can still hear you saying things.
Okay, well, all right, well, here I'm gonna.
What the hell?
I'm gonna mute myself and be quiet. I promise this time.
No, do you know what? Just no. You can't handle it. You're unbanned because you annoy me.
Fair enough.
Hired Sword says, we need that leaked Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. The leak has been on point so far. Hopefully we hear something soon. Thanks for the laughs, you two. Thank you, Hired Sword. Yeah, I don't know when or if we're hearing about that. Again, it felt like if they wanted to, Square Enix could have done a Final Fantasy Direct, but I think instead we're just going to see one or two of those things at this Sony What You Have It.
Sorry, I just read Topak Shakir's super chat and got very... okay, fair enough.
All right, I'll read it for you right now. He says, ants can go up your urethra. Jeff can't. No contest. I mean, maybe if Jeff tried really hard.
Anything's urethra. Grug, go up your...
Grug, go up urethra. Now you're the one saying weird things. Yeah. And then Jeremy G says, a lot of bug talk. Vote for Metal Gear Rising. And Knoble says, no gods or kings, only bug fables. So... I'm pretty surprised how quickly Earthbound fell off there. Everybody's like, Mike, we want you to play Earthbound. Apparently they don't want me to play Earthbound that badly. Granted, I think a lot of people have already played Earthbound. Probably the actual problem there. Right. And Jeff, now you're still actually muted. You idiot.
Anyway... I said some really insightful stuff, and you guys are just gonna miss out on it.
Said a lot of embarrassing things that I'm glad no one heard.
Cumming, Iowa.
Grug, no talk.
Grug, no talk.
You are Grug.
Oh man! Hey, if I'm Grug is part of the Beef and Cheddar Boys and would just destroy ants.
Oh my gosh! People can hear him now, right?
Yes, I have successfully muted. I think what happened is I muted the desktop audio and not my actual mic, so you wouldn't be able to hear the outro music in a half an hour or whatever. So, wow, good stuff here.
Jeff, you are killing it, but that doesn't do the super chats for now.
I can tell you really mean
chats,
that.
We will read them. I know somebody joined the club too, actually, at some point. I think Satonian did. So thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. Oh, so did that's subscriptions. That's not joining the club. Well, thank you for subscribing anyway. Somebody joined the club. That's it. Bond did. Bond Diesel became a member. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Bond hangs out on my Twitch a lot, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. Make sure you get into the industry secrets and podcast producers channel and the cool kids section of the Discord.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then vote for the poll.
All right. Let's see here. Jump Matt. These are from our podcast producers in the Discord. Let's get to their questions. Wouldn't it be in Valve's interest to make more original games, if only for the goodwill that would bring? It's a form of marketing that actually earns profit.
I don't think they cared that much about goodwill anymore. They used to be Mr. We like having goodwill as a company, right? But once you're making so much money from a virtual monopoly on digital PC game sales, right?
Yes.
It's just about keeping that money coming in. I mean, we saw like like even their quote unquote live service game, Team Fortress 2, got in such a state of abandonment and disinterest inside that all of its players had to kind of come together and do this massive letter writing campaign to IGN, so that because like bots are just destroying that game, so they had to do that. And just today or yesterday, the Team Fortress Twitter was like, "All right, yeah, we'll see you. We'll try to fix that." So, yeah, I mean, it is. I think we know what's going on. They're not going to make a game unless they really, for some reason, are interested in chasing a hyper trend like they did with Artifact, or if it kind of serves their hardware purposes, like Half-Life VR did, Alex. Other than that, it's unless they suddenly really care about the Steam Deck as a platform and they start to think we need to become like a Nintendo and make a lot of first party games for this thing, or quote unquote. But I don't think that's happening. That's not really the point of the Steam Deck, right?
Right. No, I mean, I think the point of the Steam Deck is
more reasons for people to buy games on Steam.
Yeah, more reason for people to buy games on Steam, and that sort of ecosystem sort of runs itself now. I mean, it's not self-perpetuating or anything like that, but it's like every time they invest a little bit in making sure they could sell a lot of other people's games, they see a huge return. It makes sense, Jump Matt, but Mike's right. They are at a certain level where it no longer matters if they're making original games. They have all of this momentum, and nothing's going to change that in the immediate future.
It's a bummer because they were just making so many very good games from from Half-Life to Portal 2. It's like, wow, these guys make so many great games. I can't see what's next, and it's kind of a bummer that it stopped basically for no reason. Especially with some of those
they're
franchises.
Too rich is the reason,
right? They became too rich, and it turns out that they're not rewarded for doing that anymore. And it especially sucks leaving certain franchises kind of out to dry. I do think there will be a new Half-Life at some point, but even then, I was like, because Half-Life Alex basically sets up Half-Life 3 if you beat it. Mild spoiler there. But again, so did Half-Life Episode 2.
Episode 2 sets up Half-Life 3 as well. So
yeah, right. So and then that just didn't happen. So who knows?
From Los Clover, greetings, gentlemen. Sega is announcing a new project on June 3rd. Any educated guesses on what it is? Will we finally get closure on the Vector Man trilogy? I'm going with that. I hope it's Vector Man 3.
It will not be Vector Man 3.
Vector Man 3. Put your money on it. Go to Vegas and put your money on it, everybody.
There's going to be one
That's a Grug lock. Grug says, put your money on Vector Man 3.
Isn't it about time for them to announce the next Yakuza? How long do we usually have to wait between those? Oh, Virtual Fighter 6 maybe? Yeah, I don't know what could be. There's a bunch of things. It's not going to be like a new Shinobi or Echo the Dolphin, so I can only get so excited.
From Turbo Sean, happy episode 250, you guys. I'm sure you were well aware of this milestone and planned a giant, extravagant celebration for this one. You got us. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, as you read this, he was going to mute himself for half of the episode. That's how we're celebrating.
Pretty good celebration for most people, I would imagine. As you read this, I'm not stationed in my usual spot in the live chat because I'm currently, probably, getting my ass kicked in Guilty Gear and Killer Instinct at Combo Breaker, the second biggest fighting game tournament in the world, for my birthday today. Oh, okay, well, hang on. We should everyone in chat. He'll see this later. Put a bunch of happy birthdays in there to Turbo Sean, and good luck at Combo Breaker. He says, getting the
Smash Brothers so you can practice.
Yeah, he's going to need that against Mike Minotti, the greatest Smash player east of the Mississippi.
West.
West and East. Who cares? Getting in the competitive spirit this week has made me wonder, what's the most competitive you guys have been in multiplayer games? Have you ever attended any tournaments, even if just for fun?
I have been to a couple Smash Brothers Melee tournaments back in the day. Yes, that was it for tournaments. Never didn't do super well or anything, but we did go. Won a couple matches and it was fun. But outside of tournaments, I played Overwatch, some of those competitive seasons. Nothing super crazy. I skirted into getting a platinum, and then now I played that new PvP, but Final Fantasy 14 a good amount, that crystalline conflict thing, and I've gotten to the diamond raking. Crystal's the highest. I don't know if I'm gonna get there, but those are probably the ones I those three are probably the PvP games that I've taken the most seriously.
Yeah, I get more competitive about the asynchronous stuff. So playing high score challenges and things like that. I mean, that happens all the time. It happened with Astro.
Right.
It happened.
But there was
with
Astro, right? But
Yes,
that
Astro.
was basically about me and you.
Yes, yeah. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. One of those I had like a top 1,000. It was like a top 500 score for a very long time. And so, yeah, so stuff like that. I like anything I could play over and over again for a very short amount of time. My brain gets really good in that, and then I kind of fall down that hole. From Dugan, congrats on 250 deciders. For my hard to read and probably poorly worded question this week, which game or genre did you just miss out on because you didn't have the platform? Or aged out of the target demo, or just missed the first time around, and that has been nagging at you? I don't know. There's quite a few.
I kind of missed out on like the hardcore flight sims of the earlier days, or like more flight sim games. So I never played those X-wing and TIE fighter games that people liked a lot.
Yeah, me neither.
It seemed intimidating to me at the time, and now I kind of wish I did, because everybody likes those ones so much. And I'm sure I can go back and enjoy them, but it feels like I missed the zeitgeist on that a little bit.
Yeah, mine's like I missed it because I wasn't into the genre yet. So like all like the early like Shining Force games that I bet I would really be into, and Final Fantasy Tactics. I got that stuff a little bit later, and that's when I started playing. I've never really gone back to play those.
Yeah, I'm playing Shining Force 2 now, and I am enjoying it, but it is kind of like, this would probably hit harder if I was actually playing this on the Sega Genesis, and not when there's been a bunch of more complex, slightly more interesting versions of this idea out now.
Right.
There's a charm to it now, but it is if that sounds slightly condescending, it's because it is.
Yeah. Dr. Turbo says, hey boys, question for Inside Man Jeff. How often do you believe a scoop is a controlled leak by a company as a PR strategy? Do you treat the info differently if you think they're using you? Does it matter to you at all? Yeah. Usually it's not. Almost never is a controlled leak. In the few instances where I was like, maybe this is something like that, I do treat it a little bit differently. But as long as they know it's true, and I'm doing it for the same reasons I would always do it, then I'm usually pretty fine with it. So, and those reasons are, I can use it to explain what's going on inside a company or why a certain thing is happening. I usually just be like, okay, I'm just going to treat this like normal, as long as I know it's true. From Beefhammer, here's a more serious topic based on this week's discourse. With inflation rising and a potential recession looming, are subscription services primed to benefit or be hurt by these? People might be trying to cut back and look to cancel unnecessary subscriptions, but on the other hand, they provide value to consumers, and value is important in a recession. What do you think, Mike?
My instinct, there's definitely a point there about value, but I still think that when people look to tighten the belt a bit, subscription services are a pretty easy target for that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think people probably keep one around if they're like playing a lot of games and they're not going out as frequently because they're trying to save money on that stuff. But you're right. Like at a certain point, like you just look at all your subscriptions, and like if you're like doing Game Pass Ultimate, it's $15 per month. That's a pretty hefty bill. So yeah, I could see the people cutting stuff like that out. I think if the games are there, though, it can withstand a recession a little bit better. So, if this happens later this year, Microsoft might have a little bit of a difficult time keeping people excited about Game Pass. See, from God Rizla. Hello, Jeff. Why would you say that, Grubb? And Mike, blanking on everything, Minotti. Secreting bodily fluids on everything aside, what are the chances we see a new Prince of Persia game in the future instead of just remaster/remakes?
A long time.
Yeah, I think that if the remaster had come out and been like the really big deal, I would say there's maybe a slightly improved chance. But they invested in Assassin's Creed because like Assassin's Creed is like this brand they've built up and they fully own and they can do whatever they want with it. And like sort of shifting to Prince of Persia and rebooting that process probably isn't worth the effort of the time right now.
Right. If that remake comes out, it does really well, maybe, but we'll see. Even that's gonna be a long process for that to come out, because they're basically they're basically restarting it. They started using some assets from the old stuff. I bet they're practically restarting, so it's gonna be a while until that comes out. Then they have to kind of collect data on that and see how it does. And do we want to make a new one of these? And it's in the future. Who owns Ubisoft now? Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. A lot of questions there.
Yeah, I think someone in chat said, didn't Tom Henderson leak? Yeah, Nick Turbo says, didn't Tom Henderson leak a new Prince of Persia? I thought I heard that, but I don't know. It just seems hard for me to believe that'll happen anytime soon, at least until the remaster happens, but we'll see. From Natalie Portman.
Did you see that they actually, they had another job listing for, something for, gosh, what the hell, Beyond Good and Evil 2 recently at Ubisoft?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said with that, I think something called Beyond Good and Evil 2 might come out. I don't think it will have anything to do with that original thing that we saw. I think it's probably just going to be you're playing as what's her name again, Paige again or whatever, not Jade. Yeah, Jade and Paige.
Paige is the name of the pig.
Yes, right? Yes, yeah. And you'll be playing as them again, and it'll just be like a real sequel.
Better anyway.
Because it is. Yes. From Natalie Plorpman, ahoy, Jeff, Barry Grubb, and Mike Cream Minotti. Natalie Plortman here. Last night I watched Sonic 2. That's pretty good.
I just love his name so much.
Natalie Plortman here. Last night I watched Sonic 2 and was left with one question. What is going on with this man's facial hair? Please describe it and don't be afraid to use phrases as sprayed on or impossibly narrow. Thanks for all you do, and here's to another 250 episodes. So yeah, I haven't seen all of this movie, but this is actor Shamar Moore, and this is from the poster, I think, for Sonic 2. I suppose I can, let's see, open image in a new tab.
Yeah, this is Dr. Robotnik's fanboy lackey guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can bring that up.
The facial hair, it's just really dense, but trimmed down to a centimeter, and yet because it's so thick, it is still very prominent. It's impressive. I'm jealous of it because I have a bit, yeah. Oh, we're talking about this guy, actually. We're not even talking about who I thought.
Yes. So there you go.
This is a completely different character. Never mind. Okay, we're talking about this. That just,
yeah, there's his face, yes.
Pretty similar, though, except even shaved down, further down. I mean, I don't know. This doesn't strike me as that weird, is it? It's just really... Look, we're slobs, and we're slobs. We can never do it,
right?
But it's just really well manicured.
It's sculpted gruff, it's like scruff that has been extremely well sculpted. So I get the it looks painted on, but that's just because it's so full,
right?
That even when it's shaved down to with a zero, it still is coming in as a full beard. So
yeah, so because some people have the patches right here under the lips, but even I kind of have it all over the place there, and he sort of
kinds of stuff happening. Yeah,
all kinds of stuff happens. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, fair enough. I'm impressed with his facial hair. All right. Thank you, Natalie Plorpman.
Man, I thought we were talking about a completely different character's facial hair.
You know what?
I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah, you should be embarrassed. You should be ashamed, actually.
I am.
All right.
I'm not as ashamed as those ants are gonna be when they mess them up.
48% to 52%. We're coming back. 51% to 49%. That's right.
Oh, Jeff, you can't say that word. It's banned.
God damn it. From Turbo, I'm like, what? Then I'm like, oh yeah, I did say that. Turbo Madden, we are returning back from Turbo Madden. Happy 250th episode of GamesBeat Decides. Jeff, meme potential Grubb, and Mike, what Final Fantasy anniversary shirt will he be wearing this time? Minotti.
I wish I had more. I wanted to get 12 and 14, but those were already sold out in extra large by the time Mike got there. I only got 6 and 9. No, yes, 6 and 9, and 9, which looks like 11, and it still upsets me when I'm on this show.
If Giant Bomb and the Game Mess were to have a more crossover content a la Grubb Snacks, what is more likely to happen? A hockey podcast starring Jeff Grubb and Dr. Hockey Jeff Bekelar, or a Kingdom Hearts podcast starring Mike Minotti and Jan Ochoa?
Ooh.
I think a Kingdom Hearts podcast is far more likely because no one wants to hear us talk about hockey. So even though I don't stop myself.
Yeah, let's get on that.
Much more likely.
I'm ready to play through those games again. I've been itching
that's
for
weird.
It. Wow.
From Jedi Moss 4, happy 250th episode. I can't say it anymore. How envious is Microsoft of Nintendo that they could just move up the release of a game that they could fill a gap in their schedule? Will Microsoft start to be this strategic about its release calendar once it's able to get its content pipeline up and running? I mean, it's extremely jealous, but it's also the reality of the situation. Like, Nintendo's making HD games. Everyone else is making 4K games that are bigger and more expensive in almost every way. Nintendo just has every advantage when it comes to this stuff in terms of they have leeway because of the types of games they make. And Microsoft just probably won't get into that situation anytime soon.
Microsoft's not going to get to a point where they're releasing a character-based soccer game that people are actually excited about.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's like a fraction of the cost of the kinds of games that Microsoft's going to be making, coming up. Let's see here from Bench JC. Hello, Meatman. Not really a question, but more like a congratulations. You are 1/4 of the way to 1,000 episodes. How does that make you feel? It will be 2036 in the 750 weeks to get to episode 1,000. Hopefully Kingdom Hearts 4 is out by then. I fully expect both of you all to continue that long for my needs. Best of luck, and don't feel too old. I'm only turning 18 next month.
Oh, that's cute.
That's upsetting.
I've always had a good attitude about quote unquote turning old and all that stuff. It never bothers me as much as it does some people. And I have friends who are like, "Oh, I'm really feeling in my 30s." You get older. Getting older, I forget who told me this. Getting older beats the alternative, Jeff. That's what I always tell myself, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Better. This is coming like, you're the guy who like regularly goes to Disney World and has like a child's life. Like, of course you're like, I feel young forever.
I feel great. Well, maybe if you all, chilled out and enjoyed things more like me.
But I have to be stressed. Okay, whatever. I didn't know. I knew we had some kids out there listening, but this is a kid.
Oh,
Yeah. Bench JC, happy birthday. Let us know when it actually happens, all right?
Best years are ahead of you, man. I got so much happier once I was 18 and got out of high school. High school was okay for like friends, but God, I hated having to be in high school.
Yeah, I was fine with high school, but things also still got way better as things went on for me. Let's see. Start cheering now, says Hello. Don't want to ruin the celebration, but do you know the number 250 means dumb in Mandarin? Hope after this episode, everyone gets a smartness boost. I did not know that, and frankly, I don't know how that could be true. It's a number, but all right. Fair enough. I like that. From Pablo Cost, happy Friday. Jeff Hefe, Grubb, and Mike Don Miguel Minotti. I don't know what's more offensive, Sony's PlayStation Plus alleged upgrade path or Kratos being named John. Also, will the real Meep please stand up? Congratulations on 250 episodes and have a fantastic long weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Is his name John? Is Kratos' name John? Is this a Halo joke?
I don't know. I heard someone make a joke like this on Twitter, or saw someone make a joke like this on Twitter earlier this week, and I thought they were just joking. I didn't know that was, but maybe it's just a meme now at this point. I don't know.
Rachel, is that true? You skipped high school? Was that allowed? I could have just not gone.
Man. From Mr. Bowler. Yes, there we go. Congrats on 250 episodes, guys. 6 more and you'll reach a nice round number. I discovered fair enough. I like that. 256 episodes. Absolutely. I discovered this show last year and have been watching ever since. I most appreciate that you guys take a smart approach to video games and provide insight into the business while still finding the humor. Yes. My question this week is, how has this podcast changed when you first started, and how has it remained the same?
Oh, gosh. At first it was, there's even more technical issues. There were people watching live. Sometimes I would be despondent and like leveling up a character in World of Warcraft at the same time as doing it. So yes, much better product these days. Yeah, and we used to, like, the Decides thing was about like, we're going to decide a topic each and every week so that the episodes are more evergreen. And then I'm just like, it's a lot of work and people aren't watching. So, and then when people started watching, it was for the show we were doing at that point. Right. And then it was like, how we fill out the time. Oh, people just ask us questions, and that's actually a lot of fun and takes up a lot of time. That's great. Yep, it's perfect. From Easy Ipsis, hello, Jeffrey, tweeting Super Mario RPG Grubb, and Michael also tweets sometimes, Minotti. Oh, that's right. That incredible Did You Know Gaming did a video about like Mario like rumors, and at one point it was like Jeff Grubb mysteriously just tweeted Super Mario RPG, and everybody and it was like it's still unclear why Jeff tweeted Super Mario. And I would be like, he just likes the game. I like it. Yeah, it's the simplest explanation, everybody. To be fair, it's like they said, like this, it must have meant something. They did at least say, and people freaked out. Yes, but I do like the idea. I just like people saying your name in a documentary fashion. Right, it's very weird. Yes, and we still don't know why Jeff Grubb said Super Mario RPG. Well, it's so ominous and weird. Well, it's like bizarre when I was watching that one guy who did that Harry Potter video you showed me. He did a Cuphead video earlier. And he started talking about Dean, and then at some point he just said my name randomly. I was like, oh, that's bizarre. Yep. It's like, gosh, recently there was something. It was some new thing from the mayor or whatever was doing another one of his weird transphobic rants, and at some point he just randomly mentioned Youngstown, Ohio, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck?" So weird. It's like the Leo pointing at the screen meme.
Right. From Easy Ipsis, do you think there is any hope that the PlayStation TV shows will be any good? I feel God of War will be mostly based on the new one, with maybe 2 episodes as flashbacks showing who he is and what he has done.
I mean, how could that show possibly look good in live action?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at a little bit.
Yeah, any of these shows that require a lot of TV CGI, like that stuff is always weird. Even what was it recently? Oh, She-Hulk, right? Even She-Hulk has a lot of that TV CGI. I'm just like, I mean, I'm not watching that, but you guys have fun.
Yeah, I mean that show looks fun to me, and I'm like okay with it if it's trying to be fun, but if it's trying to be serious, usually it's like that stuff breaks it for me. From Hosp, Halo Boys, congratulations on the big 250. Do you guys have any predictions on the state of gaming by the time you hit episode 500? So what was gaming like at episode 1? It was kind of pretty similar to how it is today, huh?
How many years is this? Like 4 years?
4 or 5? Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
Well, it's going to all be the metaverse. It's all going to have NFTs, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's what all the investors are hoping, apparently.
Yeah, that stuff didn't even make it from like episode like 230 to episode 240.
No.
It was like by then it was already like running out of steam.
I guess it's weird to think that we will be at least talking about the next generation by then, huh?
Oh yeah. 5 years from now we'll be talking about it. Yeah, because it's like it's already been like because it'll be like probably getting ready to like come out at that point. Not out yet, but probably getting ready to. It's weird. I think 5 years from now could still be in this generation, huh? All right. From Epic Open World. Hello, Jeff. I only accept real cartridges, Grubb. That's right. And Mike, I get words and phrases banned. Minotti. That's also right. With summertime approaching, what is the best meat you like to grill, and what side dish do you like to eat with it? I like street corn, Mike. Street corn is the side where it's like corn on the cob, but you like just slab that shit in all kinds of sauce and seasoning.
Butter and seasoning. Yeah. I didn't actually know about this until Coco, because one of the one skeleton man went to get that, and I was like, "What's that?" Yeah. What about meat, Jeff? Do you grill a lot? Because I grill a ton. I actually don't know if you're a big grill guy.
I mean, we did for a while, but then with kids, it just became a little bit more of a hassle. So I haven't in a while. But when I do, I mean, I like to just kind of do a little bit of everything. I like actually grilling chicken, and I like grilling steak, and but it's like also I try to be mindful of like what are the best practices recently, and it's like, oh, actually, if you keep all of the fat juices like on it instead of letting it drip down, that makes it more flavorful. So I'm like, oh, do I even want to be on the grill with some of this meat? But I still like grilling. I still enjoy it.
Grill, and you can put it in a sheet pan still.
Right. Yes, but then it's like, then it's not super duper grilling. Whatever. I don't care. I still enjoy the process.
So I mean, I do a lot of smoking, like slow grilling. So
that is still definitely a thing. Yes.
It's indirect heat anyways.
Yes.
So that works. So I like doing a lot. Basically all the typical things, pork shoulder and whatnot. But doing like a big brisket is still the most fun. If I don't have time for that, a tri-tip is kind of like the smaller, faster, much more lean kind of beef that is also fun to grill. But yeah, I like grilling all sorts of things.
My real answer is hot dogs and cheeseburgers, and that's like that's my favorite thing to do. I think actually.
There was something real pleasant about just getting the charcoals out on like the Weber and just getting some hot dogs done.
Yes, just having them like have a bunch of people over and having like 50 hot dogs all going, and then they all get that perfect grill mark. Yeah, that's great. Hello, Jeff. Carried to Ohio in a swarm of bees, Grubb, and Mike. Never married, but Ohio don't remember me, Minotti. With the announcement of the Lego BD1, what other video game characters do you want to see a Lego set of? I did just see that. Did they announce it or was it leaked? But it looks great. It's BD1 from Star Wars last Fallen Order.
Yeah, I like that. I liked that droid. That's good.
Yes, BD1's great. He actually showed up in what, Boba Fett or something like that. Like it was great to see him.
A style droid like that should. I don't know if it was
right. That same style, right? That's what.
But I got excited.
I want to see what's his name? Is it just B1 or BD actually? So I could get mixed up, but like from Titanfall 2, I'd like to see that.
Oh, that big
mech.
guy.
Yes, I'm trying to remember exactly what his name is.
Yeah, when it comes to Lego, I'd rather be making buildings and stuff than characters anyway. So I'm trying to think like a Citadel Lego set from
BT,
Like, actually, that's kind of
BT.
ridiculous.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, they must have done a Normandy. What's it called? The Normandy, the ship. They must have done a Normandy Lego or like a
I bet they have.
or a Mega Blocks or something.
Yes.
Right, some kind of a knockoff thing. But otherwise, I don't know.
Uh-oh. All
Metroid,
right.
sure. Let's say Metroid. That would be my answer. It'd be fun. Actually,
All right.
Samus's ship would be great. You know, Jeff, it's a big problem. Aside from the soundtrack, I do not like Samus's newer ship in Metroid Dread and Metroid Fusion. That thing is real lame compared to the classic kind of like just a blob of a ship that she has in the Prime games and Super Metroid, right? Just that fat disc thing. And then it looks much more like a generic spaceship in the newer games, and I don't like it.
Can you say fat disc again?
Oh no, what did I do? Fat
It just sounded just close.
Fat dicks? Did it sound like I say fat dicks?
Yeah, you got it.
What did I say?
Yeah, it just came close.
I got the impression you were actually listening to me talk for a while and wanted to ask me about something else.
Well, yeah, because like I read the next one ahead, so I was doing something while you were talking, but I still like that shit.
Fat dicks.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Do I need to ban that word too now, Jeff?
Let's hope not. From Nick Turbo, to mark this special occasion. And this is blacked out, so I'll just read the end. You are both great, and congrats on making it to 250. And the thing he blacked out is, and he's doing the ooh thing. Can I be a real mod again on the Discord? All right, Nick Turbo, I have gone in and I have removed you as mod junior, and you are now a real official mod again. Let's see how long this lasts. Let's see how long this lasts, Nick Turbo. We'll see how you mess this one up.
What did he do last? Oh, that's right. He banned me for something.
Oh yeah. We were right. We were in.
He messed things up.
Yes, we were doing the show, and he would come and kept like moving you out of the thing, and he just kept doing it. Like so, like we'd be doing the show, and then all of a sudden Mike Minotti is gone. I'm like, what's going on? And it's like, oh, Nick Turbo was just having his fun. So yeah,
he's learned his lesson. He won't abuse his privileges again.
From Ramathul Main Sosuke. All right, Sosuke. I don't know what this is. Hey, is this from Multiverses? Is there a character named Ramathul in there?
I forget. There's that one random original character in there that no one ever plays, and I don't know its name. Yeah. That weird reindeer dog.
Why would you have an original character in there?
I don't know what that's about, but there is.
I guess probably because they're probably going to make a Multiverses show, and it's probably going to star that character, and then he'll just like see all the other ones. I bet that's exactly what it is. Hey Jeff, no more Colorado Nights Grubb, and Mike, I need to learn some self-control Minotti. I don't really have a certain question this week, but I wanted to write in and with a good content suggestion. Well, I like that you've already decided it's a good content suggestion. Here we go.
I'll be the judge of this.
Yeah, we'll judge this. As someone who was a former chef in a scratch kitchen, I want to fly to Ohio to cook for Mike on stream and trick him into eating fruits and vegetables, showing him they are good. Thoughts? I will tell you, this is not good content. Well, I mean, it could be good, but only at the part where Mike actually murders you, because he really does not like fruit. Like, it's not a joke.
Yeah.
Like,
the
true.
The vegetable thing. Yeah, if you cook down some vegetables, I'll eat them. That's whatever. And I can, I'll eat my veggies. I'm not going to eat fruit. I don't care what the hell you do with it.
Yeah.
You could just throw it in a bunch of sugar and call it a sauce, and like maybe I'll eat it and not want to puke and fight you, but I won't be happy about it.
He says also we have some Halo MCC custom games tomorrow night hosted by me.
Oh, dang.
So he's going to be doing that. So check that out in the Discord, everybody, if you want to play some Halo Master Chief's Collection. Yeah. From Nintendo Bro. Hello, Jeff, fan of that Jeff Keighley soundbite Grubb, and Mike Squid Juice Minotti. Congrats on 250 episodes of GB Decides, and here's to the next 250 with the Beef and Cheddar Bros. What's your favorite video game documentary? I watched Console Wars recently and am looking for suggestions. There was a couple of recent good ones, but I can't remember what they were even called.
Yeah, there was that Midway one that I found relatively interesting. I mean, the Console War one was pretty good. I read that book before and liked doing that. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTubers who do kind of like mini documentaries.
Yes,
things.
exactly.
All the
Matt that.
Yeah, all the Matt McMuscle's What Happened stuff is fun, and all the Gaming Historian, what have yous, and these kind of like long video essays. That's what I really like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a good one recently that wasn't the Console Wars, but a good one. All of them are kind of just like okay, and I actually ended up preferring the stuff on YouTube more. So I would just go watch the Gaming Historian and watch a bunch of his stuff. That's good.
Right, King of Kong is definitely still just like
yes, it's actually probably the best one still.
It's still like because it's also like entertainment. Like there's something it has the extra quality that you need to be more than just kind of a slightly interesting documentary. There's something, dare I say, artistic about it.
Let's see. From Revan, what's the biggest L you took on the show? I don't have a good memory for this sort of thing because everything goes out of sight, out of mind, and I forget everything. But I feel like once an episode, something I take a big L on at least one thing.
Yeah, there's so many. Jeff gets so many.
I get so many, right?
I mean, mine probably
not
happens
against
on
these
Tuesdays.
fucking ants, though.
Yeah, these ants. Oh, we were getting closer to 50-50, and now we're still behind 48% of these ants. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there's things I say all the time, and I think something's some way, and someone tells me it's the other way because memory is a funny thing. Someone will have to tell us. You guys probably remember our L's better than we do. So if any of our historic L's stand out, please remind us.
Please, yes. And PlayStation Slave 3.0, if you're here, please remind me.
PlayStation. Well, he's just going to invent them, like how he invented that he was supposedly have been trumpeting how great Xbox's E3 show is going to be this year.
There was that Reset Era thread about how like, oh, Jeff Grubb like was saying he's hearing rumors there's going to be a PlayStation State of Play in early June, and it was just like pages and pages. Well, there were some people who were like, oh, why is everyone getting so mad about Jeff? But there was a lot of people really mad, like, why does he say this stuff? People always just say there's going to be something. It's going to rain one day, and one day I'll be right. And it's just pages and pages of this stuff. And then I went in there. I'm like, looking forward to the apologies everyone gives me. But then there was like one guy who was just still like, congratulations on finally getting one thing right. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the one thing you ever got right. It's fun.
Yep, good
really
stuff.
Fun.
Let's see. From Laushin. Hey guys, hope your week went well and you have a relaxing weekend planned. My questions this week, Jeff. It's game cards, not game cartridges. Grubb. If Game Pass is losing subscribers, wouldn't that make Microsoft aggressive in getting deals to stem the losses? Or do you think Microsoft would be okay reporting a decline in subs, unlike Netflix? I don't think they're okay with doing that. I think they're going to do what they can. And actually, looking at what's happened recently with Game Pass, they have made some pretty good moves, like Hardspace, Shipbreakers in there, and Sniper Elite 5. That seems like the kind of stuff like they can make those deals, and they are making those deals. That's a pretty good sign, I think. The problem continues to be that when they want to make deals, not everyone wants to play ball with them. And so they're still getting a lot of no's, even if they're offering basically blank checks in a lot of situations. These are companies that are worried about, they're not worried about getting paid for this game. They are worried about the declining perception of the value of their games going forward. And so they're just hesitant about like Game Pass because of that. So I think Microsoft's going to do everything they can to stop a decline in subscribers, but they also might just like try to hope they can wait until, Starfield does come out before they actually have to report their next growth period. So yeah. And then there's a question here from Mike, Final Fantasy XI superfan Minotti.
Damn it.
With Disney losing its special status in Florida, does it affect known plans of expansion at Disney World? P.S. Thanks for the great show.
Well, first off, I don't even know what's been going on with that legislation or
last I heard is like they fucked up. They messed that up because they did that. Like the people of Florida would have to pay back like all these things and stuff. And
right. I mean, yeah. So like, they were always saying, well, yeah, we'll do it. And they'll still have to keep paying. Like the citizens won't have to pay those taxes, which I don't think that's, again, I don't know, but I don't think that's how that works. Somebody has to pay that money if Disney's just not running that as its own kind of entity. But even if it did, no, Disney would still mostly go for it. I mean, for one thing, their expansion plans are relatively modest in terms of they're probably still just looking to build hotels and stuff. They aren't looking to build a fifth theme park as far as any of us knows or anything major like that anyways. And, you can still work within the system to do that stuff. Universal's building a third theme park now, and it's not like they own that area of kind of like, near downtown Orlando that they are in. So who gave that power to Disney anyways? That would be the Florida legislature of the 60s. Nick Turbo.
Let's see here. Where am I at? I think I'm at Scrody McBooger. Okay, from Scrody McBoogerballs.
Wow.
Happy 250, y'all. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Yeah, I haven't. I would think I would remember the name Scrody McBoogerballs. It seems PlayStation has a lot to show off for this year between first-party and marketing deals between God of War, Hogwarts Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, and The Last of Us Remake. I'd imagine some of that would be shown via State of Plays, but I can't imagine they would be shared with each other, nor can I really see 3+ State of Plays coming before the fall. How do you think they plan to handle showcasing these games before release? What are the odds we see PlayStation at Summer Game Fest Thanks for the content, guys. Good luck on the move, Jeff.
So see, this was probably written before we found out about today's state of play.
Yes, today at 7:13 a.m. So before that was announced.
So there's your answer: is that most of the third-party stuff is happening at this, and then I don't think they really have a lot of first-party things to talk about this year aside from God of War. So again, that might get its own. It may, apparently there's these 2 live service games coming, so I guess they want to talk about those at some point. But those still may have their own presentations, whether those are called state of plays or not.
Yes, and it's like they could still, if they're going to talk about stuff beyond that, they could still do a PlayStation showcase, which they've done for the last 2 years. They could still do that in September on top of all these other things. So I think that seems like the way they're headed, where this third party state of play now, a God of War or something whenever they're ready to talk about that, and then a PlayStation showcase in September. That seems right to me. From Delta Prime 84, hey Beef and Cheddar boys, no question this week. I want to shout out a game that just exited early access or Steam. Hardspace Shipbreaker. Hey, there we go. It has you breaking down starships in a space dock. It's way more fun than it sounds. Also, it's in PC Game Pass. Yeah, guys, I really recommend this one. I played it in early access. I haven't played it since it went 1.0 because that just happened yesterday.
Sounds like such a Jeff game.
It's very much a Jeff game, but there is a slight difference here where this one they've really done a lot of work on the narrative, where it's like as you are breaking stuff down, you're getting calls and you're involved in starting this union, and there's this labor uprising, and you have people back on Earth, which you could see you're looking down at Earth, and you have relationships with these people. And apparently people say the narrative of going through all that stuff is really well done while doing this, basically wage core game. Yeah, it's exactly the genre I said I love last week, blue collar core stuff. So yeah, it still is that game, but they add a little bit of juice on top of it to, I think, attract more people. And so far, the reviews have been people seem to really like it.
Cool.
From Jeremy G, happy 250, gentlemen. I've only been here for about 50, like we said, but it's been a damn good 50.
Hey, I don't blame you. That's
I don't blame anybody. Keep up the great work. Excited for your E3 coverage. Yes, absolutely. We'll definitely have some episodes up that week of this show for sure. And if the Nintendo Direct happens, maybe we can do a special episode of Last of the Nintendogs, but we'll see. How long is 250 episodes in Meep years? That's it's like 1 quadrillion years. It's almost as many ants as we're going to destroy in our fight.
That's right.
Coming up eventually.
Fight ants.
Yeah. Velocity Prime 1. Happy Friday to Jeff. I live in Ohio now. Grubb. And Mike, ABC Minotti. I don't know. What is the reference to that one? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I was trying to think. I know that ABC is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that's fair.
Do, re, mi.
Maybe we'll get in the rest of this. Let's see. Happy semi-quincentennial. Okay, that's that was a word I've never heard before, but it sounds right when I put all those pieces together.
Yes.
Semi-quincentennial. Besides Daisy, what Nintendo character do you want to see?
Oh no.
Besides Daisy, what character do you want to see new metal-fied?
Oh God! You just said NU and stopped.
Yeah,
because it's like, wow.
Because there's NU dash metal dash a fight, and it's it's a line break as well. So it's I'm ready. Besides Daisy, what Nintendo character do you want to see new? And then that's how it stopped for me too. Wow. And I'm like, okay. And then I saw the next word, and I had to start over.
Like rose gold peach.
Thing. Yeah, like the Mario Striker style. Yeah, absolutely. He says perhaps Wart can show up and bang his head to mid 2000s tunes.
I'm not opposed to palette slips, but I think the whole metal fine thing is kind of lazy and dumb. I don't care about rose gold peach or metal Mario or that kind of thing. So my answer is none. I don't like it. Now, doing it for Waluigi would be funny, especially if it was like sludge green metal Waluigi or something stupid like that.
Look, to be fair, this is new metal-ified for Mario Strikers. So it's new metal is metal. It's like rap metal. It's Mike. This makes sense because you weren't into them back then. But it's like Linkin Park.
Yes. Okay, right.
So it's
I get it now.
Yes. Okay.
So we're not talking about when they just make we're not
turning characters into liquid metal. No, we are talking about.
They have done that in my defense quite a bit.
In your defense, when you started saying that, I'm like, this makes sense. And then I'm like, wait, new metal-ified. I had to stop and restart my brain. So yeah, I think Wart's a good answer, but Waluigi is also a good answer for this as well. I would very much like to see Waluigi with big baggy pants and add a Deftones concert or something like that. Yeah, that'd be perfect. From Jamie H1224, happy 250 gents. With the state of play announced, Is next Thursday officially the start of the summer game mess? Also, do you plan on doing a watch along? So I'm going to be in a hotel room on that Thursday, and if I can get stuff up and running, I do want to try to do that.
Right.
Yes.
Watch alongs are going to be awkward. Jeff's traveling then, and I'm actually traveling to LA for some of this stuff also.
Right. Yes.
Some
but
of that might be awkward.
we will try to do what, like, the thing I could probably say for sure is these podcasts will probably try to have at least a pretty short one most nights. We'll probably try to catch
do
up.
Podcasts each night.
Yes, we'll try to do a podcast each night, but it'll probably be a little bit later because Mike's going to be traveling and we're going to have other stuff going on, but we'll try to do as much of that as we can. From Doc7, happy 250th birthday. I'm sorry. Happy 250th birthday to Mike. Daily standing appointment with HR Minotti. Okay, I get the joke now. Yes, that's right. And Jeff planting apple trees around his house to keep Mike out Grubb. That's a really good idea. That would work. Because they'd fall down and they'd be on the ground and you would actually be afraid to pass them.
That. I would.
Are SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward meeps? I believe I've shown her many of these characters and asked, and I think yes, but it's never enthusiastic with most of these characters. Squidward is the one that maybe, because squids are definitely meeps.
Yeah.
But Squidward might be too much of a person.
Patrick Star is the color of a meep. That might help him.
That might help as well, yes.
Meekness.
And any sort of thing that's sort of blobby is also definitely a meep, so I think Patrick could pull it off. From MN Goldie. Hi guys, maybe you could explain this to me. I understand Sony Japan lost power because of the PS3. How did Sony America lose power? The PS4 did great, but now the power is in Sony of Europe. The current Sony regime just seems to have the arrogance that got them in trouble with the PS3. So we don't fully understand exactly what happened here. The headquarters is still in America, but none of the leadership is. And the leadership does make a big deal about how everyone is from Europe now. And around that time, before Jim Ryan was fully instated as top of the food chain, there were a lot of people from Sony of America who left. Not just the top dogs, but a lot of people left. All up and down that organization. So my guess is somewhere along the line is they just were looking, who do we want in charge of the future? And they saw Jim Ryan's track record of selling a lot of consoles in Europe and said, we're going to put you in charge. And Jim Ryan then said, okay, and I want to consolidate power around me in Europe because that's what I'm comfortable with. And I think it just started to happen as a byproduct. Really. Yeah, it just happened. It wasn't intentionally trying. It wasn't some failure of PlayStation America. That's not what it was.
The answer is Jim Ryan. There's a simple answer.
From Octo. Hello, my duders. Cheers from Romania, as always. Imagine an alternate universe where the Bungie Activision contracts were a bit different, and Bungie ended up working on Call of Duty. What would that have been like on a more real-world subject? What are your impressions of the Bungie Activision relationship? What was the dynamic? What went wrong other than Kotick sucks? Bungie overpromised. Activision got greedy. I think that it's Activision had a clear vision, at least in their own mind, of what they needed Destiny to be. And Destiny, and then actually making that game was a lot more messy, a lot more troublesome, and they were sort of figuring out this new business method as they went along. Now, obviously, live service games had been a thing before Destiny, but establishing it as a AAA potential live service game was still new. And while Bungie was answering a lot of these questions, building the plane in the air sort of situation, Activision was we need a sequel, and we want it now. And Bungie's we don't think that's a good idea. We have other ideas. And then no, we need a sequel. And okay, but if it doesn't go right, we're not going to be too happy about it. And it's they just ended up having a lot of the same problems. Now, obviously, Destiny 2 in the long run seems like it was a success, but they're not doing a Destiny 3 anytime soon. And Activision definitely would have wanted a Destiny 3.
I think it's one of those things where they're first courting them, you guys will have all this creative freedom, we won't bother you much. And then as soon as Activision got a little fidgety about, this isn't making as much money as it should be, I bet they suddenly started interfering a lot. And just even just the small things being you don't call it an MMO, Bungie, don't call it MMO, that'll be bad. Why? Yep. Annoying things like that. What was the first question though? Oh, can you imagine an alternate reality where Bungie is helping Call of Duty? I don't know if Call of Duty needs Bungie's help. The help Bungie's doing isn't so much the gameplay design. It's really is that infrastructure stuff, right, Jeff?
Right. Yeah, that's the stuff that Bungie's sort of famous now for. I mean that's they are also famous for creating some of the best feeling shooting video games of all time. Of course, they're
Right,
great
but
at
I
that
think
stuff too.
Call of
But
Duty's
Call of
got
Duty is its
that
own
part
thing.
figured
Yes,
it out.
that is
That's
very
not the
true.
issue. Jeff, the Beef and Cheddar Blades versus the Ants is back at 50-50. This is incredible.
And if I look, it looks like we have a slight lead in terms of like the size of the lines. So
look at it, 373 votes. Maybe the most important, not just the biggest, the most important poll we have ever run.
And
here.
really, I think that we should win this just because ants are too stupid to get on the internet and hack the vote, right? So we should just win this.
If they can get on your urethra, I guess they could probably push a key. I don't know.
And like I said, Grubb can do that too. So I'm not too worried.
Michael and chat just, you fools, a fucking quadrillion. They're so small that that's still probably like this many ants.
Right, I'm just gonna. Like my feet. I could like probably kill like 1 million at a time at a certain point. Like
this cup, this GamesBeat branded cup probably can't even fit a quadrillion. Quadrillion.
That's quadrillion of anything is probably quite large. Let's see. From Gerbear, congrats on putting up with each other for 250 episodes. I'm sure it's been challenging at times, and that is the entirety of their comment here.
No comment.
Yep, that's fair. That's good insight there, Gerbear.
I don't think I've ever actually been mad at Jeff. Really, I'm trying to think.
No.
I don't know. Jeff was. I'm sure Jeff was maybe almost mad at me a couple of times, mostly about bread, but otherwise fine.
I think you were just like, you could not believe I would not want free bread in our Airbnb.
And I'm like,
it's just going to sit there. It's just going to sit there.
I ate a lot of it.
But to spite me. You ate that bread. I know you did.
Bread. We were, to be clear, we were at E3. We were leaving like this restaurant area to go back to our room.
Yeah.
And like the sandwich place was done for the day. So they just take the extra homemade loaves, like restaurant made loaves, and put them out like, here, you could take them with you. It's free bread. And I was so excited. I was like, Jeff, I just got us a free like loaf of bread. Can you believe it? Jeff was like, what? Why? Jeff was like, not even excited. Like, I was upset I even bothered grabbing it. And I could not believe that he was excited. I was like, it's got free bread. You know, bread is so good, and we can eat it whenever we want. We can make sandwiches or toast and all this
We're
stuff.
not going to make sandwiches. We're so busy. It's E3.
Well,
and
if you're busy, just eat a slice of bread. It's one of the easiest things you could possibly eat.
And it's like, no one's going to eat it, and it's just going to sit there on the counter, and every time I walk past, I'll be like, oh, God damn it, that fucking bread. And that's pretty much what happened. Mostly what happened.
So what happened was we ate bread, and it was great.
I don't think I ate any bread. I might have ate some bread. I don't know.
Free bread.
Right.
That's the sequel to Free Guy is free bread.
From Keyworks, Sup Boys, happy 250. What are we going to do now that the Callisto Protocol is not in the PUBG universe? Also, Mike, happy Cosmic Rewind Day.
Oh, that's right. Today's the official opening of that. I'm trying to figure out if I'm a brave enough boy to do that one. It doesn't sound like it's too intense of a roller coaster, but it does like it doesn't. I don't know if it spins like crazy, but it has 360 degrees of movement, so there will be spinning of some kind, and I might get sick. More so than that, I just get very nervous when I'm about to go on a roller coaster, especially one for the first time, and I hate that feeling. So one time,
the anticipation's definitely worse, and that's not like it's still a problem though. Anticipation,
I get nervous. I went in the line for the other Guardians of the Galaxy ride in California Adventure, which was they just took Tower of Terror, made Guardians of the Galaxy. I just wanted to see the line because there's no way I'm doing that. I hate big drops, but even then, my like brain didn't really understand that I wasn't actually doing the ride. And I felt like sick to my stomach, nervous the entire time for some reason.
I've always I went to Cedar Point multiple times as a kid because I grew up, if anyone who lived within like 8 hours to Cedar Point went multiple times, and we did. And it was like I always wanted as many zero G things as I could possibly get. To me, the idea of going zero G or negative G, whatever it is, at any point during a ride was like the greatest thrill ever because it's like, man, you're just actually like floating and like I
hate it. There's the one ride in Epcot that's Mission Space, and it's literally just a centrifuge, so it's just about generating G's or whatever.
Yes,
and the worst experience I ever had. I was a really brave boy, and I was like, I wasn't even nervous. Like, I'm gonna actually do this. It's gonna be fun. It was not fun. It was a big mistake.
But Brett Hibbert says, "Hoosier here. Cedar Point and Kings Island were the only places you ever go." Yep.
We used
band trip, we're going to Cedar Point. Senior trip, we're going to Cedar Point. Yep.
In Northeast Ohio, it was Geauga Lake, which was even closer, but that one got turned into a Six Flags and then briefly became Geauga Lake because Cedar Point bought it and then closed forever, sadly.
From Pennywise, happy 250 boys. Can't wait for 350 to come around and for Mike to not acknowledge or celebrate it.
It's not real. It won't be a real anniversary. 300 will be. Even
Yes.
400, I guess. 350 is not a real thing. If you want to make cool merchandise like they did in Final Fantasy, I'll buy it.
Are you reading this? Pennywise, this next sentence. Also, not a bad t-shirt idea. 35th anniversary is not a thing. Exclamation point.
That's pretty.
Well, that sounds like
true.
we got to make that happen.
We have a bunch of t-shirts I got to make here. So
yeah, we have that. One of us
really...
CPU messaged me about that. That Castlevania mock-up he did of me in the moon with my face and you down there as like the little
that's great.
Son of Belmont. And I'm like, I think we could actually get rid of all of the trademark stuff and we could probably sell that.
That'd be fantastic.
Yes, I want to do
like
that.
this idea. Oh,
So,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
so we just
man,
got to figure out the split and stuff, but I'll do that.
The Castlevania box art on NES did not miss. I have like a print of the Castlevania 3 box art in my living room, as people do.
It's so good. So I think we'll probably put that up soon. Speaking of that, the E3 is dead t-shirt is still up, but I think, coming up pretty soon, that's probably not going to be up anymore. So if you've been waiting to act on that, at least through E3 you'll be able to do that, but then after that it could go away at any time.
Wow.
So this is a question for today. Since Microsoft seemingly has little to announce for this year, any chance we maybe get more FPS boost for older games? And then in parentheses, I'd personally love to see 60 frames per second for Witcher 2. Or even more crazy, they go back on their word and try to add more backward compatibility games. Please bring back both Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah. Oh God, that'd be fantastic. Or Sonic 06, we just said. Yeah, there are still so many games they can do with that, and that's such a great program. I really hope that they do decide to bring that one back. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it's like I get that at a certain point they just ran out of games. Excuse me, they could like kind of do legally or for whatever other reason, but it's like, man, just keep pushing through.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Who are you gonna say something?
Well, I was just gonna say I've been playing Crimson Skies High Road to Revenge actually on there, which is the original Xbox kind of plain shooter game that they made, and that has some of those backwards compatibility bells and whistles, and it's great. It runs really well. Like, it's still an original Xbox game in a lot of the ways that are dated to some, but charming to a lot, like the low res textures. But still, it plays really well and it runs really well, and that is such a good game, Jeff. It's basically like Rogue Squadron, but with like 1930s fighter planes, and it's this alternate history thing. And there's some more like open world design elements, but early open world design elements. So it's kind of like we're figuring it out, and that's kind of fun. The music's fantastic. I don't know what's up with that IP. I don't know if it's something, there's something awkward about it. I can't imagine it's something Microsoft can't overcome. We need a new one of those ASAP. That is just such a good game and a good idea for a game. I want more.
And it feels like the kind of thing that's like, if you're doing that, that sort of gives people encouragement that you are really going in, not just like moving forward, but like looking at what you've done and sort of honoring that stuff. So yeah, I agree. That would be great. Let's see, where was I at with this?
On Game Pass, everybody should play it. Let's boost those numbers. Let's make them think that people were really clamoring for a new Crimson Skies.
From Cranch Basketball, happy 250. Here's the inevitable state of play question. How excited should we really be for the recently announced state of play? Will we get the Ragnarok day, or are we sucking on that sweet, sweet copium?
I don't know about Ragnarok. Look, if you are a Final Fantasy fan, specifically looking forward to Final Fantasy 16 news, I would get excited. That's basically my whole barometer, Jeff, is if it turns out we somehow don't see Final Fantasy 16 again, I'm going to be like, what the hell? What's going on?
From Master Chief Bobs, happy Friday, Jeff, sleep paralysis demon via Bluetooth photo clicker Grubb, and Mike, subject of all banned podcast words, Minotti, and a very happy 250 episodes. What is one major developer people are expecting to have an E3 showcase this year that will end up skipping out? P.S. I'm in line for the Arby's burger. We'll report back. Thanks as always. Vote for Earthbound in the game club and have a great weekend. And good luck to Earthbound.
I mean, is Ubisoft doing something or not?
I don't know. I think probably not. And I know there's rumors of a Capcom one from people who never know what they're talking about. And I think that's a good sign that there's probably not going to be one. So I think Capcom's going to show up in other stuff. But yeah, we'll see.
Like the Sony thing.
Yes. Yeah, those are the ones like... I think if you're expecting something from Ubisoft, expecting something from Capcom, I would probably just imagine that they are going to find ways to put their games in other showcases instead. From Colin, hello to the B and C boys. As someone who has joined the community relatively recently, it appears your following has grown pretty significantly in recent months. Can you talk about the journey to 250, what the growth has meant for you personally, and or what is it like to have built something that matters to people? I know those are softballs, and I'll be back with some hard hitters next week. Happy 250, guys. No, keep
it's a
bringing
real
the
team
softballs.
effort. They almost had us in the first half.
Yeah, it's
better than when people weren't watching, that's for sure.
Yes, it's definitely, we still have found ways to like get the show done each week, but Mike's right. There's times where it's like, oh, we're doing this and not a lot of people are listening. And it's kind of like just a way to to mark the end of the week and then we just move on with our lives. But when it's like this, it's like, oh, we are building things that people care about and things that people discuss. And then it's really cool to like build this, this like shell around myself where it's like, I have these things that I want to do. And then all of a sudden, like the Discord is like just making it happen without me having to actually ask anyone to do it. Like the game club thing, like just kind of everyone figuring that stuff out. It's like, this is fantastic that this is just happening because it's like, it's something I would love to see and love to be a part of. But I there's just no way I could take that on myself. So the fact that it's just sort of happening as part of an extension of what we're doing with these podcasts, that it means a ton to me. So it's great. We're going to try to keep it going.
That's right.
From Low Rule, Happy Berry Boy, or Hey Berry Boy, and Jeff.
How dare you? Wow.
I would call Jeff Berry Boy as well, but that seems incredibly disrespectful considering he doesn't like being called that.
Wow.
How easy and quickly do you think we can get Final Fantasy 16 on PC, legally or otherwise? Insert wink face. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a PlayStation 6 exclusive, not easily.
PlayStation 5 exclusive, please.
Excuse me, I'm
yes.
jumping the gun here. I had 16 on my brain.
Yeah.
But I think it'll come. I mean, 15. But was 15 a PlayStation 4 exclusive? Did that come out on Xbox? I can't remember. I think it did.
I mean, it came out on Xbox eventually for sure because I know you can play it on there with the updated graphics and stuff.
If it doesn't get a PC version immediately, it'll get one pretty soon. I mean, if even Sony themselves are all about it, Square Enix will want to do it.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And then once it's on PC, you can do whatever you want with it, but you should probably just buy it. From Turbo Giggy 64, yo beefs, no question, just a happy 250 to you. Thank you, Turbo Giggy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 was on Xbox One at launch. I thought so. Thank you.
Yeah, that sounded like the one that was actually that at launch. Giggy, we're gonna try to do a PAX eventually, and we'll try to do PAX East and kind of meet up with you again. That'd be great. Yep. From Vision 49, happy 250, Jeff Cartridge Grubb and Mike Game Card Minotti. No question this week. Good luck with the move. Earthbound is good. Fair enough. I really want to play Earthbound, and maybe we should just make
get to it.
If I
do it myself.
Yeah, we play one of these games per month, and Metal Gear is not very long.
That's what I was kind of. I don't want to like try slave up. But maybe we could just do both these things. But
I think if some people could do both if they want, I think I might try to do both.
We'll see.
King is overrated. Happy 250, our proud beefy boys. My question this week is like mine, all other weeks, and involves PC. Sony's report have shown they want to grow their PC revenue from 80 million to 300 million in 2022. This means they have to have at least 2 games coming from PlayStation's catalog in 2022, correct? Have a great Memorial Day weekend, Jeff and Mike and everyone in chat. To me, it seems like they must have more than that. Or I suppose they could have 2 games from their back catalog and then maybe like a live service game that also launches on PC at the same time, and that would probably do it.
Exactly.
If there's like a factions like game that is free to play and has a lot of microtransactions and stuff like that, I bet they could get to 300 million this year. Yeah. From Danger Man Lead, happy 250th episode. Hope you, Jeff, are working out moving from Colorado well. On next week's State of Play, it will be frustrating when of course Ragnarok won't be shown. I still have some copium. At least a new story trailer will be shown with a release date since it has been rated in South Korea. Why does this sometimes happen? Since they have been teasing a release window, I would kind of like them to actually show something. Nothing huge, just something with a release date. With devs teasing a 2022 for the last few months, I kind of, to be honest, it kind of has to be honest, to be put up or shut up moment here. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's probably different for every game. Why it seems to happen like this sometimes, where it's like, hey, we know the game's coming. It feels like it's coming soon. Why wouldn't you show it at your next big event? But it could come down to the fact that the reason they're able to get it rated, and the reason they were able to, like you have to submit stuff to these rating agencies. Maybe they were working on that instead of working on assets for a show, and that's just kind of how it goes. And now that they've done this, maybe they're like, okay, we'll send out those assets to all the other ratings boards, and we can get to work on a new trailer, and we want to be in control of that because we take a lot of pride in this. I mean, it could be something like that. I'm speculating, but it's probably comes down to just not having the resources dedicated to something that doesn't matter 100% to getting the game out. And now that they feel comfortable that they're going to be able to do that, maybe they can free it up to do a state of play dedicated to God of War pretty soon after this state of play. From Fusili George, happy birthday, guys. I can't believe you're 250 years old. Jeff, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. Are you keeping up with Celebration at all? The Andor trailer looks good, and I really like the first 2 episodes of Kenobi. All right, Mike, let's do it. How excited are you for Andor?
Oh, I'm not watching that one. That guy sucks. That guy's a mean jerk. I don't care about him. I'm not gonna root for him or something. And I'm not gonna root for him. I also don't want to see some I don't know, super thinky Star Wars thing about him and him coming to terms with what he's done. I don't know. All I remember about that guy is that's the guy who murdered that guy who was on his side the first thing we see him. And why do I care about him? And then the whole movie was like, you should care about him. I was like, no. I won't actually.
I won't. I like him because I think it's cool that Star Wars has a character with a thick Mexican accent. I think that is.
That's fine. I don't disagree with that.
I didn't think you would, but so I'm like, it's cool that they'll be able to explore that character some more in a way that might actually be good this time. Because it wasn't good in that movie. You're 100% right about.
I do like the name Andor.
Andor Cassian. Yes, Cassian Andor.
Yeah, Cassian Andor. That's right. Yes.
I think that show looks interesting. It looks good from the setting that they showed off. They haven't showed off much of the character stuff so far, but the world they've showed off, it looks great.
I know Jeff hasn't seen Obi-Wan yet though, because he hasn't spoiled anything, which he certainly would have if he's.
I've seen the first episode. I haven't. I haven't seen the second episode.
Job, Jeff.
I'm not gonna spoil story narrative based stuff. If it's oh my god, I hate you so much. Oh my god, this is the last episode, everybody. I'm so sorry. Can't do this anymore with this man. This man that probably would succumb to the ants, if I'm being honest.
Wow. Okay, Jeff, did you have fun taking on a quadrillion ants on your own?
From Revan, I'm invoking mod privilege to ask a second question. Does the Arby's Wagyu have any chance of being... I don't know how to say that. How do you say that? Wagyu?
Just Wagyu beef.
Wagyu? It's W-A-G-Y-U, so it's Wagyu.
Jeff, we're supposed to be beef and cheddar boys. You should know how to say all the kinds of beef.
Here's what I know how to say. Roast beef. There you go.
You've probably never even had Wagyu beef.
I don't think I've had Wagyu. I've had Kobe beef, and I'm like, yeah, this is a hamburger. Yeah, cool. Any chance of being actually good? The sandwich, the cheeseburger at Arby's. People seem to think it's good.
People think it's good. I'll try. I have to get one soon. Maybe I'll get one tonight for dinner, and then I'll figure out.
I'll have one first, and I'll tell you whether or not it's good, and you'll be like, spoilers.
Wow.
From Bond Diesel, a few Mass Effect director positions, presentation and narrative are no longer listed on their jobs page. Is that meaningful at all? Curious if you've heard anything. I'm desperate for info. Don't do this to yourself is my recommendation. Please don't look at job postings too closely to trying to get an idea of what's going on with the game, because people leave all the time. And a lot of times they put those job listings up, and then you know who they hire? Exactly the person they knew they were going to hire from within the studio, who they moved up into that position. But they had to put it out there because it's part of their process. And it's not good insight. So don't do this to yourself. I'll say yes, it's meaningful and that it's good, and you can be happy about that and just move on. From Govna, Jeff, how does it feel Nintendo fans just ran that Nintendo June stuff you mentioned last week onto gaming leaks and rumors, even though you said you weren't confident with that said info? Also, happy 250th Aquaman and the best Ocarina player in the world. That's fair. Yeah, listen, I think so. Gaming leaks and rumors gets a little bit of a pass because they do a good job. You're like, the people that usually post that stuff after I say, hey, don't post this stuff, I'm not sure. They're like, we are a rumor site, or we are a rumor thing on Reddit, so we're going to talk about the fact that it's a rumor, but we're going to put all the context of what he said in there, and they're usually pretty good about that. And they listen to the show. They're not doing it secondhand, which is actually the big problem a lot of times is people hear one thing and then the game of telephone happens. Like this happened this week with one of those Star Wars fan pages was like, Jeff Grubb said that there's going to be multiple playable characters in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And I very much said in the question that I heard that Cal Kestis is the main character, and I have no idea if there will be other characters playable. But I've heard he's the main character.
I thought we said the opposite.
I said the exact opposite, and by the time it got to this fan page, it had been they read it somewhere else, and then they posted it on their page, and it was Jeff Grubb says there will be multiple characters, playable characters in Jedi Survivor. That's the frustrating thing. The people who listen to the show and then take those rumors and put them on Gaming Leaks and Rumors have been very good recently, so I have very little problem with that. All right, we're finally getting to the end here. Master Chief Bops writing back into update. Oh, I'm excited. The Arby's burger is actually really good. This is all capitalized. I don't love everything on the Arby's menu. Oh, you fucking heathen. But this is my new go-to. Everyone go get one. That is high praise, your new go-to burger, because there are like a lot of burgers, so...
We gotta get this going. Oh, I gotta get one of these.
Yeah, maybe.
It's gonna be so novel and weird getting a burger. Like, I don't want them to have a bunch of burgers. I like the idea of Arby's having one burger. And maybe not even all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with the whole idea of the what is it, the McDonald's
McRib.
thing. The McRib. Yes, that's a really good strategy. From Hibbity, because it'd be so exciting when it comes back. Yeah, they should do that. From Hibbity Bibbard, happy 250th. I've had a lot of shakeups in my gaming media consumption in the COVID era. In an era where talking heads in remote locations is the norm, I find you guys provide value where others fail. Thanks for putting in the effort. It's truly appreciated. And we appreciate you saying so.
Others, you fucking failures. You fail while we succeed.
That's right. You basically are a bunch of ants to us. One quadrillion ants doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're going to hit you with our Wiimotes and nunchucks.
I'm ending it. Mike, I'm ending it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think the lead's not going to get any better than this. Not. So let's do ourselves a favor now. There it is. Beef and Cheddar Boys are going to beat up a quadrillion ants with Wiimotes and nunchucks. 52% to the 47% for ants. There's a percent missing there somewhere. So we'll just give that one to us.
Let's do 53%. All right.
53%. That was a computer error there.
Yeah. Bank error in our favor. All right. Yes.
Take that, a quadrillion ants.
Finally, someone showing one quadrillion ants.
We just have to find the queen and kill that anyway. Just look for the slightly bigger ant and kill that, and then they all turn off like in episode 1.
It would be messed up if there was one quadrillion ants and one queen. That would be so upsetting.
That queen's having a good time.
Just shooting out eggs like a machine gun. Like
at us. That's their main weapon. Quadrillion and 1, quadrillion and 2, quadrillion and 3.
Wiimote nunchuck, I could probably fashion that into a nuke like from Starship Troopers. So I think
those
we'll
batteries.
Okay. Yes.
Well, give us enough time, and the batteries will get real.
Real unstable. Exactly. Mike, I started playing Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance today because I thought that's what we were doing.
It's a very good game.
It's very good. I have never really played it all the way through before, but I've definitely played it enough each time where I'm like, man, this is so cool. This is so awesome. And that slicing mechanic to this day
very good.
Is maybe the best thing in an action game ever. It's so good.
Yeah, the game hits really well, and I remember at the time I was against it because I was still, I don't know, I was like, I liked Metal Gear Solid too much. I was like, Metal Gear Solid should be taken more seriously than this.
Oh, that's really embarrassing you ever said that, Mike.
It was a bad position to take. It was, Jeff, and I admit it now. And when I did eventually go back and play it, and by like a year or two after it came out, I was like, oh, this is actually really fun and good. Who cares about that other stuff? And yeah, I've been hankering to play it again. That's why I did put it in this poll.
Yes, good call.
But again, I'll be happy playing any of those games. Earthbound is like one of my biggest pile of shame things, and then Bug Fables it looks like it could be a lot of fun. So I'm not trying to sway the vote. Unlike some people, I'm not trying to sway the vote. So everyone vote for your conscience, as they say. I've been playing Multiverses actually, which has been in a
I was wondering how you were feeling about that.
It's fun. It's weird because it's weird to play a game and I can say I'm a Tasmanian devil main.
That's very weird.
Yeah, it is, but it's fun. I mean, it's funny to say it's not as complex as Smash Brothers because in Smash Brothers you don't just have like the A buttons and the B buttons and like the directions. You also have the tilts of those, which is like a whole thing. So there's not as many inputs in here as you have with Smash Brothers character specifically. And some of the free-to-play stuff is slightly weird. Like you have perks that you can equip for your characters, like League of Legends style, and I don't like that stuff. But the characters that are in there are represented in fun ways, like Tom and Jerry. Like a lot of Tom's attacks, it's like more like he's actually trying to attack Jerry, and the other people are just getting in the way. So it's funny. It all works out. But the total 2 versus 2 thing, like focusing on that as the main mode, I think that's a pretty smart idea. So I've been enjoying it, and as a free to play game, like, yeah, why not play this every now and then? I hope it gets supported pretty well.
Yeah, it seems way better than I was expecting. You remember we heard about this, like we had the rumor for this, that this thing was happening, and that early rumor was it's going to be this cheap free to play thing, and it feels cheap, and that was from the early playtest. I was hearing that. It seems like it's come a long way since then, because it's been quite some time. So it just seems like you've been spending all that time polishing and sort of doing what the other games in the space that aren't Smash Brothers don't do, like that Nickelodeon without the voices. Like they went all the way.
Having the voices here does help a lot with the production values. That is, like, the Nickelodeon game is fun. It is neat seeing all those characters, but if there was something weird about it, like, oh, none of them are talking, and it's clearly just a budget thing. Here you can maybe sometimes argue they talk too much, but I'll take that still.
Well, it's not like that Xenoblade or whatever it was.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Yeah. Just wait. Jeff, we have some more super chats that came in while we were doing all those questions for Discord. Do you want me to read those now?
Yeah, hit them real quick. Did you mention this thing with Velma's ability? Like she searches for clues and then calls the cops?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen her call the cops, but yeah, she reminds me very much of the way Phoenix Wright worked in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay.
Yeah, she has like word bubble attacks and stuff like that.
That's neat. Okay. Yeah, she's like one of the 2 experimental characters, right? They have like these beta characters, or
right? Yeah, I think Taz also is quote unquote experimental, which is, I tell you, I kind of destroy with it. Maybe he's overpowered, or maybe I'm just very good. I actually don't think I've lost the game. I've played enough of
those
them
kids
that I
who's
should
boss.
have lost the game.
Fair
it
enough.
Should be 50-50, and it is not.
Mike, let's get those super chats, please.
All right, Reservoir Doug says, Grug's thoughts on Meeps. Grug thought on Meep. Grug, hey Grug, Meep good?
Grug love Meep. They're delicious. Meep delicious.
Oh, you better not tell the kid that. Patrick says, I forgot it in my Discord question. So, hey, guys, you're both pretty cool. Thanks for giving us a great show. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you so much.
John Mosher asks, and I meant to ask you this too, any update on the Jedi 2 announcement? Do we still think that's happening today?
I think it's happening today, yeah. Listen, it could happen anytime this week. It's definitely in Star Wars Celebration, though. I was never for sure able to get the day within Celebration it was going to happen. But I knew it was I knew it wasn't on the first day, so that's why I guess I just defaulted to it's going to happen on Friday. I think we will hear about it today.
How many days did they do it for?
I think it's a 4-day thing, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
I think it's like the new stuff is going to be Thursday and Friday, and then the Saturday and Sunday stuff is like, and there's vendors and you can go to panels and stuff like that. I think that's kind of how it works.
Nately Nay says, I came here for the coming on everything. Oh no.
Maybe.
I'll give you guys a week buffer, especially if you give me money, but that's a banned word now. Come on, guys. I'm a Meeple fan. Mike's thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I don't have many thoughts on it. I don't think anybody's actually going to watch that, so whatever.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, people look at the headline and it's cute. Nobody's actually going to watch it.
Is that Winnie the Pooh, like, is it using the Winnie the Pooh part of that is in the public domain? Like there's parts of Winnie Pooh.
I suppose it is, although he's wearing the red shirt, it looks like, and I find that's
dangerous. Okay,
that's dangerous, right?
Right.
It feels like the naked Winnie the Pooh. You can maybe get away with it more. So I don't know.
It might be a better movie too.
Yeah, I bet Disney might be looking at. Disney probably has bigger fish to fry. What with the whole state of Florida going against them anyway? Right. So we'll see. Stephen McIntosh says, "Hey, Grubby Wubby and Mikey Wikey, is Star Wars still today?" Jeff talked about that. Probably today. It'll be at Celebration.
I think so.
Hold tight.
Yeah, that live stream starts. If it didn't start already, it starts in the next couple of minutes. So
okay.
Yeah.
Are you covering that for us? Are you keeping an eye on that?
I'll keep an eye out.
The story.
I'll keep an eye out. I have a little bit of time from now and then. I have to go help my wife do the last few things out of her classroom that we're going to put in the pods. But the pods are here also. So then after that, I'm packing up, and I'm packing up until everything's packed away, and that's that.
Right. Don't lie to me. You're looking at those pods like, I bet it's comfy in those pods. I want to be
listen. I really wished I had time today to put the couches in there and set up some stuff and really just kind of try it out and see what it was like. Absolutely, but I won't have time to do that actually. So I'm pretty devastated, Mike. All truth be told.
Erodimus asks, if the GamesBeat Beef and Cheddar Boys would do a made-for-TV movie about Depp versus Heard case, who would be Amber and who would be Johnny? I think a quadrillion ants would be Johnny Depp.
Right, and I don't know. A poop flinging monkey would be Amber Heard. Yeah.
And then Jeff and I would actually not put any more thought to it beyond that.
I would just, at this point, I would turn around and walk away.
Yep. Timur,
and go watch something that I actually am entertained by and actually care about.
Timur 72299 says, "Love your stuff on Twitter, Jeff." Well, that must be a lie. Nobody likes Jeff.
No, I don't like my stuff on Twitter. Thank you.
Evan Dan says, "Final Fantasy 16 at State of Play next Thursday." I certainly would imagine so.
Yeah,
it's time.
I agree. It's time.
There's too many things lining up. The fact that it's focused on third parties, the fact that Final Fantasy 16 is a PlayStation exclusive, and
they
fact
said
that
they would do stuff in June. Yeah,
they said it would do it at the end of the spring or whatever. So
yeah,
it's time. Crusader 3456. In the gaming, he says, "I am the gaming leaks and rumors guy. Strive for context. Can't wait for the Xbox showcase. Mega thread of leaks. Many yours on the 5th." Ooh,
yes, thank you, Crusader. Crusader's great. Crusader, will DM me and say, "Hey, is this right?" and stuff like this. So anyone who ever reaches out to me is like golden in my book, because like my DMs are open, so everyone can do that, and only a few people actually do. Andy Robinson has done it a couple times, and Jordan Midler does it. The VGC guys do it as well, so that's good.
Yes. Somebody already made a banner of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with Zoolander over it.
Of course,
and our interpretation of it. I actually had no idea they were supposed to be fashion people. I just thought like that they were all spectacular. I don't know. I just thought that was the style, as was the style at the time. One of those things. So I don't know. There are sometimes there's like some anime I'm like curious about, like One Punch Man. I'm like, is that a comedy? Does he actually just beat everybody with one punch? How could there be any conflict? Is there like a lot of episodes where the guy who beats the people in one punch, like, is it around to do the punch?
My assumption is it works like most episodes are him running to the fight, and everyone's like just trying to survive until he gets there.
Yeah, maybe
it's probably pretty slow.
It's a Christian sense as a comedy, so maybe
I don't believe that.
But people say it has
anime doesn't have humor.
Anime can't be funny.
Anime can't.
Right, it has to be serious like Kaijo.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a comedy action. Because Rachel Silver says it's both. That's yes, and then Chris says it's action comedy. That sounds right.
Trigun is great. I mean, aren't all of them kind of also comedies? Like Dragon Ball has a lot of quote unquote comedy.
Yeah, it's but would you call a Marvel movie a comedy because they have a lot of jokes?
Sure, that's one of those things. Yeah.
Mike kind of looks like One Punch Man, right? Everybody, maybe we should get some fan art of that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, if I didn't have the beard, and
but you could just sort of like
slimmer,
scruff it out or whatever. You know?
I think I first saw One Punch Man in France when I was at the train station next to some Asterix comics. I was like, "What is that's weird? Is France like anime?" And then I also saw a Goku themed McDonald's ad, and that answered my question. France,
well, there you go.
Anime. Yeah.
It's like Germans love David Hasselhoff, and the French love anime.
French just love anime.
Mike, a lot of people have started playing Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance in the last few months. Have you seen those numbers? Yeah. That's how it's like blown up since January.
Right, and that's another reason why I thought of it. And again, I think I was the same thing as our people. It's been getting memed, and there's been a lot of those President Armstrong things. And it's like, man, that is a good game, and I want to play it again. So yeah, it's like concurrent user thing is like higher than it's been in a long time.
Yeah, like
probably
in
at
August,
a point.
Last June. It had a peak concurrent players of 400, and then last month, in the last 30 days, it had a peak concurrent of 2,500. So that's like a pretty significant improvement.
Yeah. So definitely not bad at all. And at a time where Platinum Games could maybe use a little
an
unexpected cash flow after that whole Babylon's fall, if you would.
All right, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and at Twitch at Tolkoto, TOLKOTO. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com. We're getting ready for that Tarzan episode. It's going to going up on the 1st, so that will be fun. And me and Jeff will be back on Tuesday for Last Night Tunnels. I think maybe regular time. I don't, because there's a long weekend. I think we'll be okay.
Tuesday might be a weird one, but we'll make it work because that's my last day in this house. So
yeah,
I'll figure it out. I might be on the laptop. It's actually how it'll work, but we'll figure it out. That'll be fine. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter, Jeff Grubb on Twitch. I probably won't be able to stream again until get to the new place, but that's gonna be pretty quickly now. A week from now, I will be driving there, and so yeah, not long now before we're settled in and actually making all that stuff work. It's just like, man, everything's so back to back. It's all happening in that week. Like get there, and like the first thing I got to get ready for E3 stuff is happening like right away. So gonna be a lot. But tune in for that. We'll have a lot of stuff. Join the Discord. If you just listen to the podcast, join the Discord. It's it really is a happening community. Grug is there. Yeah, absolutely.
Grug lives there.
Grug lives on the Discord. We play a lot of games together. And that's like literally like online multiplayer. But now we're playing games together as part of this game club. We are always discussing various games and all kinds of stuff. It's just a real good community and stuff like that. And it's been growing. It keeps growing every month, and it's just really hopping. I should probably try to get it verified again. We tried a few times when we met all the criteria, and I did it, and they're like, nah. I wonder. It seems like much bigger now, even than it was then. So, yeah, maybe we should try the Discord verification again. Although I don't know if we really need it. We boosted enough that we get all the same benefits. So I don't know. Mike,
like
you got any plans for the weekend?
I need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, just there's a couple events and things to go to, but nothing too crazy. I definitely could use some relaxation. We'll see.
Top Gun Maverick for me tomorrow, everybody. Bye.
Oh, I want to see it. Don't spoil it.
Oh, I'm gonna spoil it.
I know you will. Yeah, I'm cranking it.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm cranking it.
Master Chief.
Yeah, I'm cranking it. Master Chief. Yeah, I'm cranking it.
He stops before it says the word.
It's good.
It's a blast. I'm cranking it.
Oh, somebody just posted like Peach's like